Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of League Chat with the Stat. Thank you for joining me on another great week of League Chat with the Stat. Guys, very honoured with my new special guest this week, Antoine. Mate, how are you, bud?
There you go, mate. It's
Good,
been a while. I've been waiting to come onto here.
I know, mate. Finally got to have you on. It's exciting.
Yeah, can't wait.
Good, mate. Guys, thank you again for joining me on another episode of League Chat with the Stat. We've got so much to get through, so I can't wait for this episode to unwind all the latest that's been happening in the NRL world. And with all the crazy change in the rules in the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks as well. So many games where a lot of teams won pretty convincingly and some were a bit of a surprise. So, look, going to get straight into all that right now. First, going to discuss the ladder. And, mate, look, Penrith sitting pretty on top.
I don't see anyone else going on top, to be honest with you. The way they're playing, unbelievable.
Yeah, they've been crazy. They're still undefeated, 22 points. Second, third and fourth round, top four, Storm and Eels, your club, Eels.
Yeah.
Tied on second, 18 points. They sit third due to for and against. And Rabbitohs, after that heavy defeat, go down to fourth on 16. You've got Roosters fifth on 14 points. The Seagulls take the sixth spot on 12. And then you've got the next four clubs, the Dragons, Titans, Warriors, and Cowboys. They sit on 10 points each, in that order due to for and against. You've got the Raiders, the Knights sitting 11th and 12th. Sharks and the Tigers, as well as the Broncos, all sit on 6 points. And the famous Kidney Banks, mate, we're sitting on 2. We're sitting pretty at the bottom.
You know what? What about Manly? Tell me where they're coming again. Was that 6th?
That's 6th.
Imagine that a month ago. Would you tell me they're coming 6th?
No chance.
I reckon they would have been coming second last if it wasn't for Big Tommy.
Yeah, mate. The impact he's had in these games, I thought it would happen just the 1 week, but...
Yeah. Crazy,
mate. They were sitting 14th at one point. And now they've jumped, they've won 7 of the last 8 games to jump straight into 6th.
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
One player as well. No one else. One player.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're going to get into that a little bit later, which I'm very excited for. Tell me a bit about yourself, Antoine. Tell me who you go for and how long you've been going for him for. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Mate, I'm a paratragic.
Oh, yeah?
And been going for him since I was maybe 6 years old.
Yeah.
Been a season ticket holder with them now for around 12 years or so.
Yeah, nice.
Look, I've had some hard times.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro.
I'm still having some hard times. Haven't witnessed that premiership just yet.
Mate.
Fingers crossed it could happen this year.
I know. Hopefully. Hopefully, mate. The way you guys are going, you guys are doing really well, actually. So
look, we're playing well. But I think it's what counts at the end of the year. When it comes to the finals, it's a whole different ball game. If we can do something this year, because our finals in the last couple of years haven't been that good. You know, going out in straight sets. Hopefully things change this year. Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah, man, good to remain optimistic, let me tell you. I said the same thing about the Dogs maybe changing it up this year, but we're sitting still at the bottom, so...
Look, I knew Dogs weren't going to go that well this year. I'll be honest with you, I thought they'd be coming last. I'm not going to lie, because they've signed some good players, but it's what who comes next year.
Yeah, that's right.
You got Burden and Eric Carr.
Yeah.
I think they changed the game for you.
Yeah, they do.
They'll change the way you play. I think he's got to be a bit patient. Like it's hard. I've been through it as a Paris supporter.
Yeah, definitely.
Some lean years, but I think Dogs can go. They can go somewhere next year. Yeah. I'm not going to say they're going to make the 8, but they'll be much more competitive. Yeah,
look, I hope so. I mean, I think it's more we need to buy forwards. I think at the moment we're struggling with a lot of go forward. I think if we get a few good props in, young up and comers. Which we're searching for a few at the moment, which we'll get into a bit after. I think we'll probably get back to the top, but...
I think you need a hooker.
I
think a hooker is what you've been missing for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, who was your last decent hooker? Leisha?
Probably Ennis.
Probably Ennis. You signed Leisha from the Sharks and...
To replace Ennis.
There was big raps on him, and it just didn't work out for him,
Yeah.
And since then, you've been playing Marshall King at hooker. He's not too bad.
Yeah.
But I see him more of a bench player, someone coming off the bench who can cover the halves, can cover hooker, you know, even in the backs, he can cover a couple of positions. But I'll tell you, you need Brandon Smith.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm excited for.
If you get signed Brandon Smith,
I
reckon you'll make the 8 next year.
Yeah, no, look, I would be surprised. But the experience that he brings, with Melbourne at the moment, the way he's playing, even from lock, even at 9, he's playing some cracker football. So if he can bring that, and bring his experience of winning premierships with Adokar to the Dogs, it helps a lot. And the big part is experience, man. Like, we've got Sione Katoa, mate. He frustrates me. I can't explain. He's so painful to watch.
Yeah. He's a Panthers junior, isn't he?
Yeah.
From Panthers, yeah.
Come from Panthers,
You can't expect much from him.
No.
You can't. He's a good tackler, good defender, but he's not going to create anything for you from dummy half.
No, nothing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we've witnessed that all year, unfortunately.
Who'd you name this week at hooker? I'm pretty sure I've seen someone.
Yeah, so we've got Jackson Topiner. We've named the hooker.
I thought he's a back rower or...
Yeah, he's a back rower.
Does he play hooker as well?
Apparently now he has. So I think the last few weeks he has been covering hooker because with Marshall King going down, we needed someone extra versatile, like a bit more versatile.
Yeah.
He's actually a second rower.
Yeah.
So,
I thought so, because I think... Did he play at lock last week?
He's been out for the last couple of weeks.
Who played lock for his last week? Tony?
Yeah, went off for Tony.
Tony, okay, yeah. Right, yeah.
So yeah, that's the shame mixing it up. So it's good to know. Another Para fan that we've jumped on the podcast, which is good.
Yeah.
So look, let's get straight into round 11. Now the Cowboys 36 defeated the Knights 20. Now for me, having been at Magic Round and watched the Cowboys perform against the Roosters, they were very ordinary, but they turned it up. Like they turned it up. There was about 15 to 20 minutes in that game.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of the first half, second half, they
really
turned it up.
Coming back, I think they were 2 points behind or something like that.
Yeah, before Roosters came away. So this was a game where they I believe they took control of the whole game.
Yeah.
Except for about that 10-15 minutes when Taumalolo and Burr were Simbin.
Yeah, which is understandable. You know, I think any team would crumble like that. But full credit to them, you know, the boys came back on, Taumalolo and I think it was Lachlan Burr.
Yeah.
And they just finished that off in style.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were very good.
If you think about it, if there was no Simbins, I think they would have annihilated the Knights.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think they would have put 20. I don't think the Knights would have scored 20 points.
Did they score all their points when the players were off?
They scored, a lot of their points.
Most of them.
And then they scored one try, I think it was in the second half.
Yeah.
In that game. Now, the thing for me is, I look at the Cowboys and, you know, in the beginning of the year, they were looked at probably one of the worst sides in the comp.
Yeah.
They've started to locate who is best played where. And, you know, if you look at Valentine Holmes, he's a fullback.
Yeah.
You know, and he's proven that. It's not just, he's a fullback. You know, he's a winger going fullback like we've seen so many in the league.
Yeah.
But he's actually been a proven fullback. When he played for Sharks, he was unreal at fullback.
Yeah.
And it was going to take some time for him to come from the NFL straight into the Cowboys lineup.
100%.
And make that impact. So for me, I think fullback's his best spot, and he's been flying.
Yeah, he's been doing very well, Valentine Holmes.
Yeah.
Another person, Taumalolo, when he started, Hayden was saying he's not going to play him for much minutes, was starting off saying 50 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
If you notice, the last couple of games they've been winning, he's been on there for 70 plus.
Yeah.
Like, you know, high 60s to 70.
Yeah.
Close to playing 80. He got Simbin the other game, so... But with Taumalolo on the field, they got a higher chance of winning.
Yeah.
When Todd Payton came out and said, I'm going to play him for less minutes, I've got to think of the long term of himself, you know. I thought he made a mistake there. And it showed, like, I think he only played the first game. He played like 50 minutes and he broke his hand.
Yeah.
But Taumalolo belongs on the field. He's one of your star players.
Yeah.
He should be playing close to 80 minutes.
Yeah, and he brings that go forward.
He's fit enough to play it.
Yeah.
I don't see where Todd Payton's going with him saying, he might break down in 5 years' time. You got to worry about this game, you know? You got to worry about this round. Because in 5 years' time, you might not be coaching the Cowboys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good
It's
point.
Be someone else's problem.
Good point. That's right. And the thing is, as well, like, you got to utilise him for the star player he is and utilise him for what he could bring straight away.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I love about Taumalolo. Like, when he comes onto the field and he's on there consistently for 60, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, he is the main engine behind that forward pack.
Yeah.
He's the main engine. Yeah, you got Francis Molo who stepped up. You've got Colin Hess who's now playing prop. But he is the one that will get you your 180 plus meters every game. He'll bring you that go forward. He'll take you from behind your 40 in one play to that your 30, like the opposite 30 meter. Like he'll get you there, and he's just so impactful. He can break the tackles. That's the impact he brings.
I'll tell you why Taumalolo is good. Taumalolo's first run in the first minute of the game is the same as his run in the 78th minute. He's always going to give you that good meters, you know, that hard running.
Yeah.
He's not gonna stop. He doesn't tire.
No,
he can play 80 minutes.
Yeah, and the thing is, and that's right, he's fit enough to play that 80 minutes, and you're right, you make a very good point there, where it's not like the first 50, 60, he's good, and then the last 20, he kind of slacks off.
He's not getting affected.
No.
I'm telling you, he's fit enough to play long minutes, and I think Todd Payton should stick to doing that.
Yeah, no, I think, definitely, I agree with you on that. Now, I want to touch on the Knights.
Yeah.
Mate, I was talking to you about this earlier, and I'll bring it up every week on my podcast, and I get so frustrated with the side like Newcastle. You know, you look at their forward pack, they are Premiership forward calibre. You know, that is a very good side. You know, the signing of Tyson Frizzell comes in.
Yeah.
But I question Adam O'Brien's coaching here because he got rid of Tex Hoy an hour before kickoff to put Kurt Mann in at fullback to put Phoenix Costin in the halves with Blake Green.
Pressure. That's what pressure does to you.
Yeah.
He's been losing these last couple of games. He had to change it up. He thinks Tex Hoy is maybe not good enough. He's too young. How many games has Tex Hoy played? 10 games?
Yeah, about 10 to 20, I reckon, at this point.
Probably thought maybe Kurt Mann, experience at the back, can help him out, but I don't think it would have made a difference, even if Hoy played.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just think the last time I saw Kurt Mann play fullback was for the Dragons, and he made 5 errors, and then I thought, this guy should never ever be fullback ever again.
Yeah.
But you're right, that's what pressure does to you. What the thing is as well, like their forward pack, they deliver week in, week out. There isn't a week where their forward pack doesn't deliver this year.
Yeah.
They've been delivering every week for the last 11 weeks.
I think they got the perfect back rowers that can run those holes. You got Tyson Frizzell, Origin player, international representative. Then you got Lachlan Fitzgibbon that just came back.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal.
You had Barnett before there was killing it.
Yeah.
They moved him to lock now for Fitzgibbon, which I would do as well.
Yeah.
Fitzgibbon's a good player.
Very good player.
You know, he can run those lines. He can score tries like last week.
Yeah, very good. Now, he's since he's come back, he's been flawless. But the problem is their backs and their halves. Now, Mitchell Pearce hasn't been there for the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And the Knights have a poor record when he doesn't play. Ponga's been missing a couple of those games as well. Bradman Best has been affected by injury as well. And he missed last weekend. You know, their backs are the big struggle. And I'll keep cementing that because as the forwards get you that platform, it's where your backs do the work.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, their backs don't step up. I'm convinced on any day Knights can beat the Cowboys. If they have a proper back line, they've got their full strength, they'll go toe-to-toe with the Cowboys and probably prevail over them.
Look, if Ponga and Pearce play, I think they win.
Yeah.
I think they'll win. But you got to blame the Newcastle recruitment there. They look at their backs. Nobody's. Yeah. You know, other than Ponga, obviously.
Ponga, Best is becoming an name. He's only 19.
Best is a junior from him, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player, but they don't have that depth in the backs, you know? Yeah. They're playing that, what is it, Musgrove? On the wing?
Brendan Musgrove.
You don't say that. He's not a first grader.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them.
Opinion,
like, you got Gamat Shibasaki. I don't see as a first grader. Nari Tawala. Hummel Hunt. These are their backs at the moment that Newcastle are utilising.
They won't make first grade in any other team.
No.
Maybe the Dogs. Sorry to say.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's fair. You got a point. No, I'll give you that. But yeah, like these are players who they're more the players that you keep in your cup side and they give you the depth.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's brutal to say. It's easy for me to jump on a mic and say that, but you got to be realistic. You got to look at the facts, and you got to see that they really struggle. Like in this game, as I said, the forward pack were fantastic. They all clocked over 100 meters, over 130 meters, even. They were really dominant. But it's just those backs. They're just they struggle a lot without Pearce and Ponga. A couple of weeks ago against the Sharks, where he scored in like 2 minutes to go, that brilliance he brings in, that last minute brilliance. Yeah. He can bring that in.
Yeah, that
was missing. And although Tex Roy is no Callum Ponga, Kermit is no Callum Ponga either. But if you've got a specialist fullback who's in depth, you play a specialist fullback. You don't bring in a Kurt Mann who's a 5'8" or can play centre or can play whatever. Yeah. You bring him into fullback. It doesn't work. Phoenix Costin's still a young kid. Blake Green beyond past his time, I believe.
Yeah,
retired, which we'll get to a bit later.
Yeah.
So,
and it wouldn't suit his style of play, Blake Green, with these new rules.
That's right. Yeah, he's a lot older. The game's a lot faster. Yeah. It just doesn't suit. Crossland is just a young kid coming through, just taking every opportunity he can with his hand, like with his 2 hands. But look, as I said, like we discussed Jason Tamalolo, he starts, back up what we're saying, 17 runs, 194 metres, and offload and 27 tackles. Just the impact he brings.
He's going to always give that to you.
Yeah.
But you got to put him on the field for it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Now, the next game, Warriors 30 defeating the Tigers 26. This game was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
At times it was a bit frustrating for me. What were your takes on the game?
Look, they talk about Matt McGuire and his defence. It's not looking good.
Nah, what defence? Yeah.
Yeah, they're leaking too much points. Tigers, it's just the same thing every week.
Yeah.
They won last week against
the Knights.
Yeah. They'll win one here and there. They'll put 1 step forward and they'll go 3 steps back. That's just how it's been with them for years.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see because I actually like the Tigers.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid as well. My uncle loves the Tigers. I grew up watching the Tigers. They're my second favourite team.
Yeah.
And I loved the way they played, when they had Benji there, especially in 05.
Oh, the
but
best.
It's sad to see how they are as a club. It's just, I don't know if it starts from the top. I don't know what's happening with their board and all that, but it's terrible. And I don't blame Madge. I'm not blaming the coach.
I don't blame coach.
You can't no more.
Yeah.
You're going to blame every coach that they've had the Tigers.
No, you're right.
It's got something to do with the whole club, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think it's they're trying to Magic's trying to build this culture. He's trying to bring in this, very heavy culture where everyone's got to buy into the product of what they're trying to build at the Tigers. He's got some players that don't buy into it.
Yeah, 100%.
He's got Joseph Leilua, who doesn't buy into that culture, I don't believe.
The best center in the game.
Oh.
From his own mouth.
And now he wants to move to second row. You know what I mean? Like,
man.
I think it's just anything to stay in that side.
Luciano's good, but his brother.
Yeah, he's good.
Well.
Yeah, he's playing really well. I'm loving watching Luciano. The last year and a half, moving out of his comfort zone from Dragons.
Yeah.
He's really cemented himself as a genuine second row first grader.
Yeah, 100%.
Not one of those
80?
guys. Yeah.
He plays 80 as well. Yeah.
Plays 80 minutes as well. So that's a big thing. The Warriors, they missed that impact with Adam Fanua-Blake. They're really missing Adam Fanua-Blake. But you know what?
Yeah.
But I noticed that in Nathan Brown's coaching, especially this week, some of the forwards only played 20 minutes. Jermaine Fanua-Brown played about 19 minutes. Kane Evans played about 21. Bunty Afoa played about 16.
Yeah, it's
very weird, but they somehow they just dominate. The second rollers dominate. Tavaga can play 80 minutes.
Yeah,
I think Jack Murgy can play 80 minutes. Tohu Harris is the heart and soul of that club. Plays 80 minutes.
Yeah, he's the Tamalolo of the Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah, he is. Anywhere he plays, you put him at prop, he can play 80 minutes.
But you know what?
Block, 80
Warriors
minutes.
in the 8, aren't they?
Yeah,
I'd say it's a pass mark for them so far. If Brown can take the Warriors to the 8 this year,
definitely a pass mark.
Yeah,
definitely a pass mark.
You wouldn't expect the Warriors to make the 8 this year, especially with Brown there. Brown known as that coach that comes in and rebuilds the club like he did with Newcastle. Yeah, which I think he did a good job.
He did really well. Yeah,
and they're reaping the rewards from it. They made the finals last year. Not doing the best this year, but you can blame injury for that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but it's like when you go to the Panthers. Yeah, you talk about how Anthony Griffin built that club. A lot of players he brought in were from Anthony Griffin, and Ivan Clear was reaping the rewards of that. Yeah, kind of the same thing there.
I like Anthony Griffin. Yeah. I reckon he was hard done by.
Yeah, so do I.
With Panthers.
I think Phil Gould stuffed him around.
Even with Brisbane.
Prior to him jumping into the Dragons coach, he had a 56% coaching win rate.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
100%. And when he got sacked, he was in the top 4. The club in the top 4.
It's crazy. Is that for Brisbane?
For Panthers.
Penrith, yeah.
They were in the top 4. That's the crazy part. Just on this
game.
That's
when they wanted Cleary, yeah? Yeah. Because they knew that to get Ivan Cleary, they had to get, to keep Nathan.
Yeah, that's been the coach, mate. Yeah. And look, they're reaping the rewards. Yeah. But with this game in particular, the frustrating part is with the Tigers is this. They had a player go into the sin bin. In that 10 minutes, and this goes to any side, not just the Tigers. This goes to any side.
Yeah.
Dogs last week had 11 players. The Raiders had 11 players, and we still didn't do anything.
Yeah.
In fact, they scored 2 tries on us.
Yeah.
Very embarrassing. Same thing here. In the time that they had the sin bin, where the Warriors player got sent to the bin, I think it was Murdoch Masilla.
Yeah.
Warriors scored 2 tries.
Yeah.
That's where the game was lost. In that period of 10 minutes, where the opposition is down a player, that is where you shine. That is where you bring your big guns, and this is where you start playing. You get that one-man overlap.
You've got to change the way you play.
Yeah.
I think it was with the Knights game, actually, to go back to that one. Cowboys were 2 players down. They were taking up hit-ups. Yeah. Just 1-up hit-ups. I swear to you, I've seen it for 2 sets. They were taking 1-up hit-ups for the first 3 tackles. I remember the commentators losing their minds.
Yeah.
Spread it. They don't only have 1 man down. They've got 2. I think that's what clubs are going to learn from with the new rules. When there's a couple of players down, they change their style, the way they play.
They need to.
But you can't blame them. We're going to talk about it later, but the rule came in out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They don't give the clubs time to work with the new rules that are going to come in, to adapt to having opposition players having 1 or 2 players down, because it's not that. It doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
No,
that's right.
When does a sin bin usually happen before there's new rules? You might get 2 sin bins the whole week, the whole round. If
you're lucky. Yeah. It's true. But I think
that's why I find them struggling. That's why I find, for example, Dogs against Canberra struggled. That they were playing against 11
Yeah, we struggled big time.
Yeah. Same thing that happened to Tigers.
Yeah, exact same thing. But I think in all this, in the doom and gloom for is at the Tigers, you look at the Warriors.
Yep.
And there's one player you talk about, Reece Walsh. Mate, when I see this kid get on the field, I get so excited, bro. I don't know about you. I get so excited.
He's a good-looking kid, eh?
He's beautiful, bro. What a shot. Like, he's actually a good-looking bloke.
He's a good-looking kid.
Mate, he's 18, got a kid.
Oh. Yeah, he's got a kid. I say that.
He's a beautiful kid. And he can play. My goodness. When you're Brisbane Broncos and you're watching this,
stupid.
Where in your mind do you take him, say, okay, this kid's on a development contract.
Yeah.
Why don't we bump this kid up to our top 30 and keep him in and then re-sign him for 3-4 years and we build our club around this kid?
That reminds me of the Tigers letting go Tedesco. Bit different. Teddy was playing first grade. They knew how good he was.
Yeah, and they didn't do anything to keep him.
It's probably worse than what Brisbane did with Walsh, but surely you can see his talent.
Yeah.
He's been with Brisbane for a while. I'm guessing he's in the juniors, yeah. Why let go of him? Like, all right, you look at Brisbane, who's their fullback? They got a good foot. It's Osaka. I see him as a winger.
Yeah.
I don't say Osaka as their fullback. So they're pretty much saying Osaka is a better fullback than Walsh. From the 3 games I've watched Walsh, 3-4 games, whatever it is.
And the 40, maybe 50 games I've seen from Osaka.
Yeah.
You know, even defensively, I think defensively he's a gun fullback as well, which what Osaka lacks. Osaka lacks that defensive capability.
Yeah. I think Osaka is strictly a winger. Good winger.
Yeah, great winger.
Don't get me wrong, good winger, but that's where a lot of players are going wrong. The player agents have a little chat in their ears.
Yeah.
You can get fullback money. Go for that fullback. And I think they can wreck their career like that.
Yeah. Cool, no, because next thing you know, they're getting this big paycheck.
Yeah.
And then when they're not delivering at fullback, they get sacked back to the wing.
Yeah.
The club's playing, okay, well, we need to offload this guy. We're paying overs for him on the winger.
Yeah.
It's a good point. But
there's nothing wrong with being a specialist winger.
No.
Look at Brett Morris. Killed it.
Free.
He'll go down as a legend of the game.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say he was just a winger. He was one of the best, if not the best wingers in the game.
Yeah.
That played.
100%. And you look at someone like the talent of Reece Walsh. You know, you look at his talent.
Yeah.
And you look just what he brings to the side. He's only been there for, let's say, 2 months in the side. Let's say he's been around the club for 2 months, around the players. He's pushing Tuivasa-Sheck to the wing.
Yeah.
You can say, yeah, he's requested that. Yeah, maybe he's requested it. That's fine. But
Sheck wouldn't move to the wing if he hasn't seen what Walsh can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agree. And look what he's doing.
Yeah.
Some of the like the cutout balls he's saying that run. Oh.
Wow.
The one to Montoya.
Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah.
Not normal.
No, they're crazy.
And I actually like watching the Warriors play now, knowing that Walsh is there. I'll go watch him.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm entertained. Like, I'm motivated. Like you might sound crazy, but a talent like Reece Walsh, I'm motivated to go to Central Coast.
Yeah. 100%.
Where they're based. I'm motivated to go watch the game.
You're not going to have that chance to go to New Zealand when they're there next year, you know?
Exactly right.
Central Coast isn't too far, so...
Yeah. And so if you go, 2-hour drive to Central Coast, if that, and you go see like a kid Reece Walsh tear up these clubs.
Yeah.
And mate, like that break where there was the overlap and he just cut through that hole. Yeah, and the speed, like he's quick, he's lightning.
Not normal.
Yeah, so it's crazy for Brisbane to let him go.
Confidence.
Yeah.
He's not scared.
Yeah, not cocky, he's just confident. He knows what he's going to get done.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the workhorses of the game. You know, talk about Tohu Harris.
Yeah.
18 runs, 160 metres with a tackle break and 45 tackles. You know, to me, he's that consistent workhorse. Like, he delivers. Like the Tamalolo, week in, week out. He brings you that performances from prop to second row to lock. He can provide that.
You know
he's one of the very few, just to cut you off there, he's one of the very few that left Melbourne that is still very good.
That's what I was about to say. Melbourne don't let go of too many good players, but Tohu Harris is one exception.
Yeah.
And there's not many.
No.
Thinking about it.
There's not many at all. Like, when Ryan Hoffman went to Warriors, nothing special.
Oh, it was finished. It was the end of his career, sort of, you know?
Yeah. I feel like Melbourne, you come to develop your career. And no matter what age you are, you develop your career. You know, Del Finucane left the Dogs.
Yeah.
Was playing really well. Went to Melbourne, it's something else.
Yeah.
You know, you go back a bit, you know, you got Chase Blair, who was a nothing at some clubs at Para. Like, you know, it was a nobody. Went to Melbourne, killed it. Ben Roberts, garbage for Bulldogs, garbage for Para, went to Melbourne, killed it. You know, they just developed these players. Tohu Harris is one of those.
Full credit to Bellamy, eh?
Yeah, he's a freak.
Wow.
He'll go down, in my opinion, as the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
With the greatest system, by far. For the Tigers, the bit of shining like Alex Twal, he's kind of a no-nonsense player. I feel like wherever he's told to play, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't kick up a stink.
He's your bread and potatoes type of player.
Yeah.
Just you hit up and tackles, which you need in the team.
Yeah.
But with the way the game's going, he's got to get an offload in his game. If he can have an offload in this game, he can play Origin. I don't see him playing Origin without
developing that offload.
You know?
Yeah, creating an opportunity.
Something.
Yeah. To keep something. Like, you can be hard running and all that, but an offload
the game's changing. The forwards have to have a passing game now. Or an offload at least. Look at Junior Paula.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Yeah, mate.
You know?
He can throw some good cutout balls too.
Wow.
Yeah, he's cracker. He's good to watch. But with Twa, 70 runs, 188 metres, tackle break and offload, like you mentioned, and 37 tackles.
I was upset when Twa left.
Yeah.
Twa went to my school when we were younger.
Mm.
But I used to always watch him with Para and the juniors, and I'm like, we can't let go of this guy. So we had to let go of Madison first, which I was pissed off about.
Yeah.
And then we let go of Twal. I'm like, man, I was cursing.
Yeah.
But he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good.
There's no mucking around about him.
Yeah.
He goes, like, if he's given a job at whatever position, he'll go hit that job. He'll go 100%. Do it well. Good to see Warriors get up in that game, 30 points to 26. Sharks 13 defeated the Dragons 12.
The most boring game I've ever watched.
Thank you. It was so frustrating.
I want to ask, why is it on Channel 9 at 7:30, a prime game on Channel 9, 7:30 Friday night? Like, as if you wouldn't put Penrith Rabbits, you know, or a Manly Para, you know. Anything but that game. I was spewing.
Yeah, that was...
I had the night to myself. I think the missus left.
Yeah.
She went with their mates. I'm like, my mate came over, like, beautiful, watch the footy. And I'm like, Sharks, Dragons. I don't know if it's going to be good. And I wasn't wrong. Wow.
Yeah.
Just errors.
Error galore. And the thing is that it just shows exactly where the Sharks are. They deserve to be near the bottom of the table. The Dragons are missing about 11 players.
Yeah.
The Dragons are missing half their squad. And this is the thing. When you're missing half your squad, a game like for the Sharks, we're like, all right, this is a game where we've lost since we've lost John Morris. Since we've let him go.
Big mistake.
Ridiculous mistake.
Yeah.
Since we've let him go, this will be the performance that'll get our season back on track. This is a season where you put 50 on a team like the Dragons, who they've got a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, you got Cody Ramsey coming at fullback. Ben Hunt's still at 7. McCulloch's still at 9. Yeah, you got a bit of that. Paul Vaughan coming off the bench for that particular game. But it just showed why Sharks are so bad.
Oh.
They were diabolical, mate. Like, they were lucky to get that win.
Yeah. I feel for poor Josh Hanna. He's not a first-grade coach, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
Before that game, seen a stat. He's only beaten 2 caretaker coaches. He had never beaten a full-time first-grade coach. That was his first win.
Because he was with the Cowboys. They lost every game last year when he took over.
I'm not understanding why the Sharks would let go of Morris. Like, okay, fair enough. You don't want to re-sign him. You got Fitzgibbon next year. Apparently, it's good. You know, good for them. But leave Morris for the whole year. Morris didn't want to leave. Is that right? He didn't. He
didn't want to leave, and then the club said, "Well, you're not here next year. You know, like you can stick it out, but we're not guaranteeing your position, even if it's as a head coach or even assistant." So John Morris packed his bags.
He could have stayed, but for this whole year,
he could have
as coach.
He could have stayed for the year. He just felt like, why stay, knowing that I'm not wanting next year.
I thought Sharks told him to go, pack his bags. I remember reading something saying that Morris wanted to stay to finish off the year with the boys, but the Sharks said no.
Yeah, there's that too. I believe that could have happened. Sure. No, I believe that could happen as well. But I think Morris came to the conclusion of I'll leave now because he was purely forced. Right, going to what you're saying, I think because he was pretty much saying, look, man, you're not here anyway. Yeah. You're not going to be here next year. We want you to stay. But he felt unwanted by the club. Like,
it was decent. I think he was a decent coach.
Very good coach.
He took Sharks to two finals.
Two finals, right? And was depleted in the two times he took him, depleted with injuries.
Yeah, 100%.
Beginning of the year, he started the year depleted with injuries. You know, they didn't have Royce Hunt. CC for Talakai wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Sean Johnson was out to around 10. Yeah. You know, and he was doing well. They were tracking really well. The second they got rid of him, they lost every game but this one.
Yeah, have a look. Have a look at what's happening.
This is their first game they won. And this isn't something as a Sharks fan you'd be proud of.
It's embarrassing.
You're not, yeah, exactly. You're not proud of this. This is a game where you put 40 on the club like the Dragons, who are missing 10, 12 players.
And let's be honest, Dragons should have won. Corey Norman had a couple of chances to slot the field goal.
Yeah.
He had one shot right at the end. I'm like, oh, that's it. He's got it.
Went to the left.
Yeah, and just, hooked it.
Or where they were 15 now, then he went for a grubber.
What was happening there, yeah?
Not really the type of players you want to be going for when you're trying to get a contract beyond this year.
Nah.
You know, especially because it's on huge money.
Do you think he'll re-sign?
I think he'll re-sign. I think for 50% of his contract. And I think he should re-sign for lower. So he's getting, 800, 900 this year?
How much he's on?
When you guys offloaded him, you're paying a portion of his salary, and then this was a year he was getting the full amount from him. Yeah, and 900. Big money. So he should stay, because no club will take him. He should stay. Cut his price down to 400, maybe 350.
He should go to the Super League. Kill it there.
Yeah, he'll fly there.
Kill it.
But I think with YKTR and the business they're building here, I think he's too comfortable. I don't think he'll be a player that will make that move. Personally,
he would love the pubs down in England. That's for sure.
He would love it down there for sure. But look, with the Sharks, like as I said, you see how poor they are, especially with Dragons. You know the amount of injuries they got. You know Matt Duffy is a big loss for them.
They're not very signing him, mate.
No, we'll get to that. We're going to get to that. I'm very excited, but I have so much to say.
Yeah.
But they were missing him. He's been dynamic from all year. I think he's been playing really well for him.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember against Parra, killed us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did well. Missing a couple forwards. You know, suspension. You know, Tarek Sims was missing as well.
Yeah. Was he suspended?
Yeah, he was suspended for a game, but he's back this week.
Yeah.
So it's disappointing as a Sharks fan. Like we couldn't put a side like that away. You know, I wouldn't be sitting there like, "Oh, we've got to win." Yeah, go us. I'd be like, "Really?
Yeah.
We should have lost that. We don't deserve that win. Like I'd rather give you the 2 points. Like I don't want that.
That's to get extra time to win.
That's to get extra time, yeah. And you know, when Towns was slotted from right in front, the fact that there was no Dragons players there to apply any pressure, that did my head in. Yeah. I'm like, why? Is there no pressure on the guy?
And it's funny, he got dropped this week.
He got dropped. It just goes to show it's crazy. Paul Vaughan, 17 runs, 183 metres, a tackle break and 37 tackles. Starting to bring back that form that had him in origin contention. Nah.
Yeah, we've got too many good forwards.
Too many good forwards at the moment.
Yeah.
I'd like to discuss that a bit later with your origin team, which we'll get to. I'm really excited for that. Aaron Woods for the Sharks, 15 runs, 160 metres, 2 offloads and 21 tackles. Solid performance from Woods. See, Woods has always been able to do performances like this, you know, especially at the Tigers. Yeah. He was the only one clocking 190, 200, 210 metres.
Like I said, he's a player you need. You need a player like that in your team.
Yeah, he's doing really well for him.
Just to do the work that you don't get credited for, you know. You're not gonna get those daily M points, but you're gonna help the team out. But
you start to see your club reap the rewards.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely. Next game, Titans 30 defeating the Dogs 20.
Yeah.
A closer win than expected for the Titans. I think they will come into the game a lot more. They should have been a bit more dynamic, you know, coming back at home, having lost a couple of games on the road. I thought they would have been a bit better than what they were. They weren't fantastic.
Nah.
Not to say that Bulldogs were great.
Dogs came close, but they weren't too far from them.
We were 4 points away.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a fight back.
I was watching that game on my phone. I had something on. So I was watching bits and pieces. And I'm like, you know what? Dogs are actually doing decent. They're stepping it up.
Yeah,
but they found a way to lose at the end.
We found a way. We're under fatigue, mate. We're no good.
Yeah.
With the Titans, you know, as I said, they weren't as slick in attack as they usually are. You know, they are missing Dave Fafita, Herman SCSE, Tyrone Peachy.
Yeah.
They are missing those players due to suspension.
Yeah.
So, having Bo Firma on the left edge, he made like 2-3 errors.
Yeah.
It wasn't really dynamic for him. AJ Brimson was the guy that came in, and he won the game from freak. My goodness, freak. I think he'll be number one fullback for Queensland, I reckon.
Nah.
I think so. I think with the injuries that they got and the inconsistency, if he doesn't get injured this week, I think he should be there.
Yeah, but Brimson should get a bench spot for Queensland. It just all depends on Harry Grant, because there's talk that he might miss out on game one. So if that's the case, they might go Marnie hooker, Brimson off the bench.
It's not bad. Marnie can play 80.
But if Grant plays, I think Marnie at hooker, Grant off the bench might cost Brimson a spot.
Yeah,
but he deserves to be there.
Yeah, his football is talking. Yeah,
he's not normal.
Yeah, exactly.
He's really good.
He's playing really good football. With the Bulldogs in this game,
Can he play on the wing for Queensland?
Nah, I feel like it's wasted.
It's too small.
Too small. I feel like he's wasted. I feel like if you're a gun fullback and you go to the wing, you're wasted.
Yeah.
You know, there's a special case with Tuivasa-Sheck because he's trying to develop an 18-year-old. He's departing. It's different. It's a different scenario.
Yeah.
But look, for the Dogs this game, mate, I want to tell you that first 40, mate, I was sick in my stomach. You know, we get to the 40 metre, we try to start maybe taking a bit of go forward, and we drop the ball every single time.
Yeah.
Now, the completion rate at the end of the first half was like 56%. It was woeful. We couldn't hold the ball.
How's Trent Barrett fixed that?
Look, I personally believe that Trent Barrett doesn't want to be playing half the players that he's playing.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm convinced that there are a lot of players he's playing there because this is the team that he's got for now.
Yeah.
I know he's scrapping about 15 and he's buying about 13 at this stage.
Yeah.
I know he's got 13 players he wants to buy, but I know he's definitely scrapping at least 15 of his squad.
I'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah. And with the side we have to. We must.
Yeah.
And because we couldn't hold the ball, it costed us. Another thing that costed us again, not going to say that we would have won. It was 24-20. We had missed 2 kicks.
Yeah.
Had we gotten the 2 kicks, it would have been 24-all. Had it been 24-all, it's a different game.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying Bulldogs would kick the winning field goal or score the winning try. Our goal kicker was Avarillo because Flanagan's dropped.
You need a good goal kicker these days.
You need a gun, you need a clear Reynolds.
You need someone that's gonna slot you 80%.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And we're not and we don't have that. We had Flanagan, but we weren't scoring points. You know, so but look, because we couldn't hold on the ball, that's where it really costed us. You know, I think but there was the last play, Dylan Napa, the ball went to Dylan Napa on last tackle.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean by why I don't rate Sandy Katoa? Things like that.
Yeah.
You know, it does very stupid things like that where it'd be last tackle and he'd give the ball to Napa. Napa kicked this dumb kick. Probably, honestly, in the last couple of weeks, probably the best kick we could put in because every kick we put in goes down the fullback's throat. Then they run 20, 30 metres.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the worst kick, but you don't go to him, he's a prop. You don't go to him to be kicking your 5th and last. You got Wakeham and Avarillo, who are very similar players in their own right. None of them are dominant playmakers, which is the problem.
That's a terrible halves combo.
It's garbage. No, mate. Yeah.
Would you drop Flanagan?
No.
Would you have dropped him?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's what doesn't make sense, man. You know your team's not going to do that well this year. Why drop a player that in the future can be a very good player? And I'm not talking about in 4 or 5 years' time. I'm talking about next year when he has a couple of better players around him. Why drop him?
Look, the thing is, I initially agreed with the dropping because he wasn't performing. There were some decisions that he'd make on last that he shouldn't be needing to make.
Which is fair enough. He's still young. Everyone's got to remember that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because he's so used to being... you got to look at where he was at the Sharks. When he was at the Sharks, he had some solid players around him, had a lot of experience. They went to the Roosters. And when they were playing last year, they had a lot less injuries and they were on fire.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
They knew that they had Sam Walker coming through and they were happy to get rid of Flanagan. I don't think Flanagan had a bad year. When it comes to Dogs...
Wasn't he a top point scorer or something close to
that? Second or third.
Yeah.
He was playing great football, scoring a lot of tries. You know, it was he was killing it. The problem with this is he's come to a side where there's no experience. He's come to a side where he has to do more than what he's done at the last 2 clubs.
And he hasn't. And
unfortunately, I can see why they dropped him. And I agreed with when they dropped him. But you can't have 2 running halves as your halves combination.
Yeah,
you can't. Avarillo, alright, he played at 5'8" for Fiji and it was really good. Okay, no problem. But Jay Avarillo is coming through as a 5'8". They're 2 5'8s. There's no halfback. You know, Lachlan Lewis, he's a 5'8". The only halfback we have in the club is Flanagan.
Yeah.
If you're going to do choppers and change, you've got to keep Flanagan there. And it sounds odd that I'm saying it, but you've got to keep Flanagan there. And you've got to tinker with Lachlan Lewis, Brendan Wakeham, Jack Avarillo. If that's what you're going to do, you've got to keep Flanagan there. Because he's the only one that's the organising half. That's my opinion.
I think you're better off suited having a 5'8" with a bigger body. Do you have anyone in the club like that? Like a forward?
Like a Bryce Cartwright?
Yeah, something like that.
In the club? We don't have anything good.
No.
We don't have anything good in our club. We've got nothing on for us at the moment.
I don't know if Avrila's a 5'8".
I don't think he's
a fullback.
He's a centre.
Centre.
I think he's a centre. I think he'll be...
I like Avrila.
I love him.
I don't know about him in the halves. I just don't see... I don't see him doing anything in the halves, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he played 2 games in the halves last year.
Yeah.
He said his preferred position is 5'8". Now, he played 2 games last year and he was pretty good. It was the most threatening we've looked last year. Not that we're good, but it was threatening. And it was more threatening than it was all year. So that's all all right, so if Barrett comes in and develops him, he'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
He hasn't... I think he's put a lot of pressure on himself to perform. I feel like he's overhyped himself up too much.
Yeah.
And he's overcomplicated his role in the team. Where he doesn't talk. He's very quiet. He's not much of a talker. He's not much of calling out, you got to be here, you got to do that. He's not much of a leader.
Yeah.
Flanagan's a voice. He can lead a team around. We've seen that.
Yeah.
Avrila's a bit more quieter. And without Flanagan, he's definitely not saying anything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing there. Fodawaker from the Titans, 15 runs, 188 metres, a line break, a try assist, 10 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 39 tackles.
Origin.
Yeah, 100%. I've loved this guy since he's come in. Very good.
I like him.
Love that he's stuck with Titans as well.
Yeah.
Luke Thompson, I love him, man.
Oh.
I love him.
Personally,
yeah. You know, when we bought him in last year, I knew him. Yeah, he struggled. Mate, any player that comes in mid-season isn't going to be superstars for you.
Yeah, 100%.
They need a full preseason at the club. They need to know the bits and pieces. He came in last year. Was
killing
pretty
it, but since he's been back,
he's been doing really well.
Well, did he have a suspension?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspended. So 22 runs, 186 meters, scored a try, made a line break, 4 tackle breaks, and offload 27 tackles. It's a very complete performance.
Oh, 100%.
We haven't had a complete performance from that, like something like that, in a very long time. Last person we did was Jack Hetherington, and then he got sent for 5 weeks. I got sent off, and then got done for 5 weeks.
I don't want to play Hetherington no more.
I know, bro. I'm very scared.
He got named stuff. He's gonna.
The thought.
If there's a chance of putting money on that guy to get Simba first, I'll put it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'll put my house on that.
100%. 100%. Next game, Broncos 34 defeating the Roosters 16. Now, I thought this was pretty solid from the Bronx. I won't lie. I thought this was actually a much better performance. Now, a lot of calls went their way.
I heard those heaps.
Yeah.
I heard those heaps.
Yeah, crazy. You know, the Roosters, mate, Radley, this is the first time it's ever happened, got put on report 4 times in the game. 4 times. He got Simbin twice and got placed on report 4 times. That's ludicrous. But this is the thing. In the first half, you know, Broncos were... They started off, they were up 12-0, they scored 2 tries in 4 minutes. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, Roosters will come back.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Roosters came back in the first half, scored 3 tries in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What killed them was Sam Walker's cutout ball on the last tackle that wasn't really executed well. Went straight to David Mead, who ran 90 metres and scored. At any point, I honestly thought that if Broncos don't score in that play, I think Roosters go away with the game. Personally, I thought the way that it was going, Roosters were just controlling it. They had so much ball down there, and Broncos just kept defending the last 15, maybe 18 minutes of the game, of the first half.
And no confidence with Brisbane.
As it is.
Said,
yeah. So they come out second half. Not only do they pile on the points, but they keep the Roosters scoreless. Look, you got to give credit where credit's due. That's very good.
Yeah.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it.
Unreal. You know, the Roosters struggled a lot. You know, Victor Radley being Simbin twice. That's 20 minutes of him gone.
Yeah.
We know the player that he is and what he brings to a team, which I would love at my club. Love. Yeah. I would love that. You know, of all games, this was Sam Walker's worst game.
He's human.
He's human.
So
he's 18.
Yeah, he's 18. He's gonna happen.
He's gonna have
plenty of those games.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. No one's sitting there. Drop Sam Walker. No, he's 18. You know what do you?
Yeah.
This is what you've got for the year. You're
gonna play someone that young. That's just how it is.
It comes with that. Yeah.
And I know Roosters, if they had the choice, they wouldn't be playing him.
Yeah.
They've had too many injuries.
Yeah, definitely. So Sam Walker, those 2 cut-out passes he threw that went straight to David Mead. Well, the first one went to David Mead. The second one went, I think he went to a forward, who kind of took on the line and then they ran away and then gave it to Mead and went to it. I think it could have been Kobe Hetherington.
Yeah, I was going to say
the new kid at David, who played really well.
Yeah.
So the Roosters did struggle a lot in that sense. You know, they had a lot of players. As I said, they had Radley Simbin twice. They just couldn't execute a lot of their plays. So it was one of their worst games for the Roosters, I believe, all year.
Yeah.
I give credit to the Broncos though. They did play really well. And I really think that they have to build off this. They have to build off this. Like, they can't just go back next week. You know, I know they've got the Storm, but they can't go back and get put 30-40 on.
It's sad to say, but I think it will happen.
I think it will too.
I think it will happen, man. Like, what a team to come up against after that win, Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, and who are missing a lot of their players as well, but their next
whole
men...
spine's out, and they're still just slapping opponents.
Yeah, exactly.
Winning quite easily, it's scary.
That next man mentality.
It's scary.
It's nuts.
I'm telling you, if I was Penrith, I'd be scared. That's the team that can beat Penrith.
Yeah, 100%. They're the only ones. You know, Payne Haas, 20 runs, 196 metres, 98 post-contact metres, with 2 tackle breaks and 28 tackles.
Yeah, Mr. Consistent.
You know, he's 21.
It's too good.
Carrying the forward pack on his shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great athlete.
He'll be a shoe-in for Origin.
Yeah, he's 100% in. Yeah, he should start for Origin, I reckon. Angus Crichton, 14 runs, 146 metres, a try, line break assist, 4 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 27 tackles.
He's having a good year.
Great year.
Yeah.
You know, since he's had to step up since Crichton has been out all year with concussion.
When's
playing 80
back?
minutes?
Should be back soon, eh?
Should be back soon. They penciled in for him around 12, which would be this week. I think they've maybe waited a bit longer. He's ready to come in around 12. Now it's just a matter of when the Roosters want to bring him in.
I wonder how it'll go. You reckon they'll play in New South Wales Cup?
I think they should ease him in.
Yeah, they should.
I think the game's gone on faster since his last play.
Scary. It's sad to see if he gets concussed again, man.
But we saw that the Roosters in that game farewell Jake Friend, who announced his immediate retirement not too long ago.
Yeah.
Very sad. Very sad of a player like Jake Friend to have gone down with concussion. And Cordner, he's been phenomenal for the Roosters, for Australia, for New South Wales, and as a bloke, I think he's a genuinely great bloke.
You don't captain your club or your country and not be a good bloke outside of football. You know what I mean?
Exactly right. Yeah, the reputation that he holds. I'm really really nervous for Cordner's return. I think they should ease him in the cup. I think they should treat it for him like in a trial game. I think with the free, they should treat it. He plays 40 minutes.
Yeah.
20, maybe 25, then 40, then maybe 55,
start
60.
Him off in reserve grade.
A couple of weeks, if he wants to get that confidence.
See how he goes, see how he's feeling.
You guys did that with Ryan Madison.
Yeah.
You know, when he came off that concussion, it was you had him off for 3 weeks.
I don't know if it was 80 minutes, but we played him.
For cup, I think it was 80 minutes.
Scored a try as well. Went back to first grade the next week.
He's playing solid since. So yeah, that's one thing that they've got to look out for with Cordner. I think they'll take a bit more caution with Cordner, seeing as he's already sat out most of the year anyway.
Yeah.
He's ruled himself out of the Origin series as well.
Yeah, should retire from rep footy, to be honest with you.
I think with the way he's out, I think you should just focus on club.
Yeah, man.
I agree with you.
He's done very well in the rep scene, but I think it's time just to focus on your club.
Because he's there for another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, he's not old.
He's 26, 27.
Yeah, he's young, but you think if you go have a look at what he's done, he's won Origins, he's won with Australia, he's won his premiership. You think he's 35? Yeah,
exactly. You think the same like with Radley, even though he hasn't played Origin or even I don't think he's played Australia, but he's won 2 comps back to back. You think guys like 30, 31 with like wealth of experience.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
I feel for someone like Hindy then.
Mate, the poor bloke. He comps into it now. He comps into the comp. Yeah, he played for Australia. He played for New South Wales.
100%.
Poor bloke, man. Poor guy. We're talking about the Storm earlier. 34-10 minutes over the Raiders.
Oh, man.
Mate.
Nico Hines.
How good.
They just Melbourne, unbelievable. They just keep bringing someone in that just kills it.
Yeah, that next man mentality is so key for them. It's so pivotal to what they do.
I guarantee you, if Hines goes down, hopefully not, someone else will come in and just kill it.
Yeah.
It's just Melbourne, Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, it's Craig Bellamy. And he's been brilliant since he's taken over Pappenhausen.
Wow.
He's been brilliant. And so Nico Hines is playing the role that Pappenhausen played to Slater.
Yeah.
You know, Pappenhausen came on for 15, 20 minutes and blitzed it. Where Pappenhausen was made like really well known, I discussed it a little while ago, was against you guys at Magic Round 2 years ago at Suncorp.
Yeah.
Where Storm put 60 plus on you.
Yeah, I remember that.
He came off the bench, made 191 metres, scored 2 tries, set up 2 more, made 4 or 5 line breaks, and played 35 minutes?
Yeah. I remember that night I was at a 21st and it was a dress-up theme. Like,
oh, no.
It was an 80s dress-up theme.
Yeah.
So I decided to dress up as Sterlo. So I had the Para Heritage jersey, the short socks and the yellow wig. And that night...
Cop 60.
Copping 60 and then people just...
and they're yapping away. And they're yapping away.
What a night to choose that.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that'd probably be one of the worst times. I caught something similar. I went to Magic Round last week.
Yeah.
And I was out in my dog's jersey and we had lost. And mate, the fans, they love it, bro. They love giving it to you. They love ripping you. Now I'm there chanting like last place, because I felt like I was getting humiliated. I'm like, if I don't tease the dogs, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
Everyone's ripping me. I sucked in, Bulldog sucked in. It's part of it. It's fun. Back into the game, Nico Hines, he just, like you said, he comes in, they know what to do, they know how to get it happening, and he brings that impact. And he's been flawless. He's been very good for him. Last week, he didn't score a try, but he set up that many line break assists, made line breaks. The way he's
everything.
So creative.
Yeah. I wonder where he's going to go.
Yeah, there's a big race. We're going to get to it in a moment. There's a big race for him, which is really excited for. The Raiders, again, started off strong. They scored in the first minute. Bailey Thompson, good play.
What's happening there?
Mate,
honestly, what's happening?
I can't put my finger on why they're so bad.
Far out.
I can't put my finger on it. Even when they've had a full-strength squad, they've been bad.
Yeah, it's just... I was just thinking about it. What's changed? What's changed from last year? John Bateman. Surely he's not that big of a...
He was there for 2 years. Not in 2... You can't tell me that in the 2 years he was there, he was the most influential player.
No way.
I can't be.
Good player, but man, everyone's just dropped in form.
Everyone. And from 1 to 17.
Have they been overtrained? Maybe. I don't know.
I can't put my finger on it. I genuinely can't put my finger on why they've been so bad.
Is it time to go for Sticky?
Oh, listen, I wouldn't be surprised.
it's just,
I honestly wouldn't be
I
surprised.
don't know what's happening, man. Especially now with George Williams, like crazy.
Yeah, nuts.
It's like just a bunch of bickering.
I think it started.
Too much bickering around that club.
I think it started when Tarpanay's missus had a bit of a go at the coach.
Yeah, but that's not the right thing to do.
No, it's not.
If that was my missus, I wouldn't be happy.
No, of course not.
Embarrassing.
It's humiliating. But it started with that game. I think it started with that game against the Panthers where they just got smoked.
Yeah.
And like we knew that Panthers were going to win. We didn't think that Raiders were going to win at all. But it started there, and then after that, it's just been a slippery slope.
Yeah, I think we played them the week after, and I was worried. I'm like, I don't want to play Canberra.
In Canberra.
Yeah, in Canberra after that loss to Penrith. We went there one easily. With ease, I'm like, wow.
And they didn't put a point on in the second half.
Yeah.
You know, they prior to the Dogs game, they were defeated in the second half 92 points to 8 over the period of like 6 games.
Wow.
I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's dipped. I don't know if, like, mate, Ricochet's been there for about 7, 8, since he left you guys. What, 2013, 2014?
2013, maybe.
2013. Yeah. So he's been there about 7 years.
After started 2014, yeah.
He's been there about 7 years. In the last maybe 4 years, they've been really dominant. I don't know what's happening this year because the caliber of players are still there. The talent is still there. Oh, okay, they lost Nick Kotrick as well, but Nick Kotrick isn't a game breaker.
No.
You know, he's showing he's not really a game breaker.
Yeah.
He's just another winger.
It's the only thing I can think of is the coach. Maybe the players are just over it.
Maybe.
Sometimes it is what it is. You got to refreshen up the club a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's just scary because they've been like that now for at least a month. You think, all right, they're going through a bit of bad form, maybe 2 games. They step it up, but they struggle to beat the Dogs.
They're big time. Yeah, they had to come back. Like we showed a new form of just how low we could go as a club for them to beat us. We did.
100%.
They are. I don't know, man. They are just really struggling at the moment. You know
what's scary? It's the big players that don't look too happy. Papali'i, Jared Croker, George Williams. You know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Excuse me. Yeah, I agree with you. It's actually disappointing. You know, Raiders. We saw as Raiders as like a dark horse.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the
top 4.
Top 4. Excuse me. Top 4. Genuine dark horse that could come in and really change things up in the finals.
Yeah.
We saw that. Like, we saw that they could do that. It was only 2 years ago they were in the grand final.
They'll be lucky to make the finals now. Look, I'm saying they'll make it just because of the teams. You know, poor quality teams. I don't see Canberra missing out. Surely, they got to sort out what's happening.
But I think this needed to be sorted out a month ago.
100%.
Excuse me.
100%.
This needed to be sorted out a month ago. The problem with it is that it hasn't been sorted. It's been carrying on for another 5 weeks. They barely got up against the Dogs.
Yeah.
They played the first 10 minutes, they were up 12-0. Again, another club where this is a game where games like this should be won.
100%.
You know, you're missing Pappenhausen. You're missing Munster.
Jerome Hughes.
This game, Jerome Hughes. Yeah. Harry Grant. That's your spine.
That's it, yeah.
That is your spine. With a club without its spine,
automatically should lose.
Yeah. They have Chris Lewis is their 5'8".
Game at least. Have a close game.
Chris Lewis, who's a forward, is their 5'8".
Oh, man. I seen that. I'm like, what? I thought this was a forward.
Yeah. They had Kenneth Bromwich playing hooker.
I think he didn't even play. He got ruled out last minute.
That's right. He got ruled out. Prior to that, he was playing hooker. They had to bring in... I think Brandon Smith came in and played 80 minutes of hooker.
I'm watching the game, and I'm seeing these players that I've never heard of. Who's that guy that scored? He was playing hooker at the end. Booth, maybe?
Tyrone Smithy? I think it was
Tyrone Smithy. It was Booth, I think, or something like that.
Booth, yeah.
I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Then another guy scored at the end. Never heard of him. Made his debut or his second game or something.
Yeah. I think it was like a Dean Iremea. I think he played last week. The player, let me try and get the player you're talking about. I think the player you're talking about, I think it is Booth. Trent Loiro?
That's the guy.
So that's the guy at the end.
But, maybe he didn't score the guy I'm talking about. But where's the...
So, in that game, there was a few try scores. So, you had Raymond Smith score. Chris Lewis was playing 5'8", he scored. Eisenuth. Aaron Booth. Yeah, so he played 20 minutes off the bench.
He must have set up a try.
Yeah.
He didn't score then. But
he set up one. But yeah, these kids, they're up-and-comers. They come through and they're the Storm that just developed their talent. Yeah, it's scary. But look, the Raiders needed to have sorted out what they needed to sort out back then. The fact that they haven't is very disappointing.
100%.
Very disappointing. So we'll need to see how that goes. The cover of the last 2 games. Panthers 56 defeated the Rabbitohs 12. Listen, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked at the fact that Penrith just dismantled the Rabbitohs.
I thought Rabbitohs were in with a good chance.
I thought they were playing really good football. I thought they were playing not really good football, but I thought they were playing okay, and they would. Yeah. They're only missing from that side. They're only missing Cam Murray in their full strength squad.
Yeah, there's no excuses.
Nothing.
I don't think it shows that Rabbitohs were bad in that game. I think it's just Penrith. They're so good.
So good.
Like Cleary's playing. I haven't seen someone dominate the game like that for a long time.
And he's doing it like with such ease. I thought he's doing it so easy.
It's not like he's trying, you know?
Yeah, so easy.
Killing him, man.
Yeah, killing him. It's scary. Like, you look at the Penrith side, like, mate, when are they going to drop a game?
Yeah.
They are scary.
Yeah.
I thought the Rabbitohs were really humbled. You know, this is the second game in 3 weeks where they've conceded 50 points.
Yeah, not looking good for them.
No. They were my... Beginning of the year, I said that Rabbitohs would win the comp this year. I was adamant that they would win the comp. We are not looking like that at all. They have been absolutely humbled in the last couple of weeks.
I think Rabbitohs will step it up. They'll be all right. Come the end of the year, they'll be in the top 4 and they'll fight. They'll do better than what they're doing now. I don't know what's really happening now with them, but I think come towards the end of the year and comes to the finals, I think they'll do good.
You know who one player who's I've actually been really disappointed in? Not because he's in my super coach as well, but because he's just been really disappointing. Damien Cook.
I was speaking to a mate of mine about that. I thought with the new rule changes that his running game will go up to a new level.
Benefit, because under fatigue.
I don't think that it's helping the hookers this year. I think the halves are getting early ball. So the halves are dominating more. So it's ruling out the hooker. And with Cook, that's his running game. Yeah. He's not doing much of it.
The only time that Cook has stepped it up was against the Bulldogs. Again, of course.
Yeah.
Where he ran like 130 metres.
Yeah.
But he made 2 line breaks.
He's not running much anymore. I'm telling you.
He made 3 runs for 16 metres on the weekend.
Yeah,
that's not good enough. That's for any standard. There are serious question marks over him playing Origin at 9. There are some real big question marks at the moment.
He'll play.
I think he will play.
Who are you going to play? Appy?
The people saying Appy.
They might as well put the whole Panthers team in there.
No, if you can, I promise you, if you can, why not? You know what I mean?
No, I think Cook will play.
I think he
deserves to be there. He's not playing bad. He's just not. He's not providing much in attack.
Yeah, he's not. I think he needs to step up.
That could be from Wayne Bennett telling him to run the ball less. I don't know why I'd say that, but from the looks of things,
he's
just not doing it.
He's not doing it, and that's the thing. I don't know why.
Yeah,
the fact that I don't know why. I think that's the part that's frustrating me. He's one of the best ball running hookers in the game. Probably the best.
He should come good.
Yeah, he should. It's not like, David Cook's in a poor team. He's in a phenomenal team.
Yeah.
But just how it's going at the moment. Yeah. For the Rabbitohs, no forward went over 100 metres, which was really disappointing.
Yeah.
For a forward pack that usually dominates, they were really, really below their best.
Is Jaira playing?
Yeah. Yeah, Jaira played this game. Very disappointing. Again, all over the park, they were disappointing. Josh Mansell had a rubbish game. He was poor. I love Josh Mansell. I think he's one of my favourite wingers.
Yeah.
I won't say one of the best anymore, but he's one of my favourite wingers. But last year, even the year before, he had some really, really good games.
Yeah.
He was carrying it. He was killing it.
Yeah.
You think he'd come to Rabbitohs, be a part of a squad that's, on paper, a very similar premiership contender, and under Wayne Bennett, you think he'd go so much better. He has been really poor.
Yeah.
With that, obviously, he copped a concussion towards the end, and he's not playing this week.
Yeah.
But I think prior to that, he would have been dropped. He was poor. Matt Burton and Brian Thorpe found him out so many times.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty embarrassing.
On Matt Burton and Isaiah Yeo, going back to Dubbo and playing in their hometown.
Yeah.
No, Isaiah Yeo, he assisted that try for Kurt Capewell and made that break, and he ran around Johnston.
Yeah.
And then Burton scored a hat-trick. Really good to see that the local products coming home and then putting on a gun performance. That was really cool.
That's what rugby league wants. That's why they go to these games. They'll go out to the country.
They go to the bush.
Which I think they should do more.
Yeah, definitely.
How many games are going to the bush in a year?
I think they've stepped up a little bit more this year.
I think it should be a little bit more than what it is now.
Yeah, I think they're putting a lot more money into it.
Then you have a look at the games that go out there. Always choppers.
Yeah,
always packed.
Always. When Manly played Penrith a couple of weeks ago, and they went out to Mudgee. 20,000.
They should do a game a week in the country. they're saying the game's dying in the country. Why not?
And
We should try it out.
we can. Yeah, we should. I think we should ever do a game. I think, but what it comes down to, Antoine, I think it comes down to the clubs and not sacrificing a home game.
Yeah.
For this, Rabbitohs did. They would have lost a bit of money in not having it at home, playing at a home stadium. They would have lost all that, definitely. Panthers were away this game, so for Rabbitohs, they took their home game to the country, which credit to them. They would have lost a lot of revenue on that, but they need to grow the game there.
Or maybe to change it up, they should do something to the clubs that move their games to the country, like, I don't know, give them an incentive.
Yeah.
Financially.
Yeah, I think there should be a financial incentive because they're going to lose a lot of revenue.
Yeah.
From doing so as well.
100%.
James Fisher-Harris has been a standout performer for
the whole year.
The whole year, yeah. 16 runs, 196 metres, 12 offloads and 25 tackles.
Yeah.
It's barnstorming. Seagulls 28 defeated the Eagles 6 in the last game that we're going to be covering.
Yeah.
Mate, from your eyes, tell me what you thought of the game.
I think just Seagulls dominated us over the whole park. Like you'd say, Tommy did everything, but I think Manly as a whole team just killed it, man. They were so good. It was hard watching, you know. I found that Para in attack just went there. It was one of those games where Mitch Moses just went missing. Just couldn't do much, but like I said, credit to Manly. They played very well.
Yeah.
Killed it in all perspectives, especially in defence.
Yeah, very good defence.
Very. Obviously, we just scored 6 points, but it was so hard for us to go over the line. We had a lot of sets where we were attacking, couldn't do much.
Yeah, and I think I'd be most impressed with them defensively.
Yeah,
I think they got the spark in attack. They got Trbojevic there. He just brings that attack.
Yeah.
I think defense is huge. You know, you guys have been well this year. You guys have been playing all right. You know, you've done well.
Points.
A lot of points, comfortably.
I was thinking only 6 points against Manly.
You were humbled at home. Yeah, definitely humbled at home. Yeah. I want to bring something to you. Yeah. We had a brief chat about it before we jumped on. Wonga Blake. Now, he hasn't been, since he's come back from injury, I think even prior to that. I think even suffered with it last year.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's been a massive liability.
Oh, wow.
And again, he wasn't good on the weekend, defensively.
On the weekend, terrible. Look, I've been one of those fans that have defended Wonga Blake since we signed him. I really liked him. I still like him, but it just shows how bad he is defensively when he comes back on his first game and just provides a defensive display like that. He was running around like a headless chook, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And
he made Fergo look even worse. You know, a winger can't defend well if the centre inside him doesn't know what's happening. He made Brad Parker look like an Origin player, honestly.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, he did, Brad Parker tore up, and I was looking at him like, what the heck? He's always killing it.
Giving him so much space. Like, it's Brad Parker, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Fair enough if you're playing up against Tony Staggs or someone. Like, fair enough. You're going to get...
You get humbled, all right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But, man...
Who's Brad Parker?
Man, it upset me so much because I've always defended him. I know most of the Para fans, they can't stand his defence, you know? But I was always defending him, but I can't do it no more. That's it. I'm over it. And I just don't understand Brad Arthur. He's named him again this week. I'll be close to saying I don't even want to watch the games. Playing in the centres.
Nah, it's hard. It's hard to watch because Niu Kore, who when Wonga Blake was injured, and got told that he's going to be out for like 4 to 6 weeks with that calf injury.
Yeah.
Niu Kore came into centres, and I laughed. I go, this is just very silly.
Me too.
He came on. He dominated.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously, it just so happened that he got suspended at the time Blake was coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just been poor from Blake. I think Niu Kore really, like you mentioned earlier, we're talking about, like you mentioned that he's tied it up defensively, that right hand side.
Yeah.
He tied it up real good, and it showed what Blake Ferguson could do with the ball.
Not only with defence, Niu Kore has helped Fergo, he's helped him in attack as well.
Yeah.
He's given him early ball. Look at the tries he's been scoring, you know. But with Blake there, Fergo doesn't even get the ball. Hopefully, I've had a look at the team list. His name Pensini, a good youngster. We have 18, 19-year-old playing for Wenny, for Para in the reserve grade. He's in the reserves this week, I think, for the first time in a while. Hopefully, Brad Arthur puts him in there for Blake, but
Only time will tell.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, no, I can't see it happening. Now, one last before we move on to what we want to discuss next, I just want to end it off with this conversation I want to have with you just quickly.
Yeah.
Now, Seagulls got up 28-6. Now, they led most of that game.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth re-signing Mitch Moses for 4 years on that kind of crack of money? Because this is my opinion, right? I've made it very clear on the podcast and when I speak to people on the street that Mitch Moses is dominant when Para are leading. When they're behind, he struggles to find a way out.
And that was him on Sunday.
And so now looking at that game, and I've seen that 28-6, and the Eagles, they're not a terrible side. You know, they showed what they are without Trbojevic, and they're garbage.
But they're not a team that can match up with Para.
No.
Which they did on the weekend, but...
In general, you wouldn't think they could.
Yeah.
So my question to you is this. With the you guys re-signing Moses for the next 4 years on some ridiculous coin, like 900 plus, when you look at a performance like that and you think, he could have stepped up, he didn't do enough, does that concern you as a fan?
Yeah, 100%. And I've been concerned about it for a while now. When Adam Reynolds was linked with Para, I said, take him. Get rid of Moses. I don't care.
Yeah.
But now that Reynolds is gone, who else are we going to sign?
Yeah.
Who else is going to be our halfback? There's no one available. No one good enough, So I'll keep Moses. He's a good player.
Yeah.
But like you said, when the going gets tough, where is he? Gone missing.
And again, he showed on the weekend.
Yeah, he showed on the weekend. And I've seen it, and that pissed me off more than the loss.
Yeah.
Because what did Moses do? Nothing. He had Jacob Arthur. Jacob Arthur's not going to do anything. The kid's 18 years old. You don't expect anything from him. Moses, to step it up, he won't. He'll step it up when they're winning 40-0, 100%.
Yeah, he'll carve up. That's when he comes out to play.
Killer, and he looks good.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, Moses, King Moses, and the King of Bankwest.
I love Moses. I love him, but it just upsets me when it comes to those tight games. He's been all right this year with a couple of tight games. He's done well against Melbourne.
Against Melbourne, yeah.
And
Raiders was really good as well. They were ahead.
But he just repeated it against Manly, his old self. But I think we've got to judge him when it comes to finals. And we've got to judge Brad Arthur when it comes to finals. Because that's where we've struggled.
Do you think... Now, it's a bit of a tough question here. But do you think if you guys don't keep... So, let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Say you guys make the grand final.
Yeah.
Sorry. Say you guys make the finals. You're a game before the grand final. And you get out in the prelims.
Yeah.
Is Brad Arthur your coach next year?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If we make a game before the grand final, that means we won at least 1 or 2 in the finals. Yeah.
Okay.
He is.
He's lucky. Okay.
I've said at the start of the year, I said, if we can show in the finals that we've improved, where we win, say, our first game, or say we lose our first game, we win our second game, it's an improvement from the year before.
The last 2 years, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm realistic. I'm a realistic supporter. I'm not saying we're going to win the premiership. We've got a good chance.
You're very good team. You're the premiership
winner. When it comes to the finals, you never know what happens in the finals. It's knockout,
Yeah.
But if we can... My aim was to make it to a game before the grand final. If we can do that, I'll be very happy. I'd say it's a successful year.
Yeah.
But if we go to the finals now...
And you lose 2 straight?
We lose 2 straight, get rid of Arthur.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say it. Because I said it from the start of the year. I'll go... I don't know if I see Arthur leading Para, pushing them towards that grand final. Because when it comes to the finals, they just buckle. And it's happened consistently.
Yeah. It's happened in the last couple of years.
It's happened in the last 3 or 4 years, 3 times.
And it's been the same point where it's at that second round that you bow out.
The first season we made the finals, I think we lost... the second week of the finals, we lost to Cowboys. I couldn't believe we lost that. But the week before that, we lost to Melbourne, which is understandable, So we went to ANZ playing Cowboys. I think this was before Bankwest was ready. ANZ was our home game. So I went to the game, couldn't compete with it. It was embarrassing. We lost. Against Cowboys as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can't do anything in the finals. It's you can only blame the coach for that.
Yeah.
I think, personally. And someone leading your team like Moses. He needs to step it up when it comes to the finals.
Yeah. It's a different league. We discussed before, it's a whole different league. So everyone has to be up on their credit, but it's especially your halves.
Yeah. 100%.
Especially your halves. They've got to
Gutherson is great.
Yeah.
Moses needs Gutherson. If we don't have Gutherson in our team, I reckon we'd struggle. Because Moses isn't consistent.
No.
And when the going gets tough,
he's gone.
Yeah, not there.
There you go. That's round 11 all wrapped up. Now, want to kind of just discuss with you the changes that the NRL have brought in. So if you guys have been kind of living under a rock or you haven't been made aware of what's going on, Peter Vanders came out last week and prior to Magic Round, it's in the last 2 weeks, and kind of cracked down on all head high shots. With that being said, he made a point that any contact to the head will result in a sin bin or send-off. Now, I have not been a fan of it coming in now. I've made it clear last week that I like what Vanders is trying to do for the long run. I don't like the fact that he's brought it in 10 rounds. That's why. Where do you stand on this? I know we had a brief chat about it prior, but where do you stand on them? The timing of them bringing it in, how the game has been different since, and what you think the future will look like.
Unprofessional, not organised. Bringing it in, announcing the 24 hours before a game. Like, you can't do that. You know, we're a professional league. People laugh at you. That won't happen in the soccer.
No.
That won't happen in the AFL. You know? I think Vlanders has got it right, but announcing it mid-season, he's got it wrong. For the long term of the game, it's good. Don't get me wrong. And players will get used to it. There'll be less send-offs. There'll be less sin bins. 100%.
Will come time, yep.
But they haven't had a chance to practice that. They haven't had a chance to practice changing their tackling techniques, you know, under fatigue. Not just with that, with the sin binning and send-off. When there are sin bins, the other teams, not a lot of teams have been able to score those tries and make the most of playing against teams with 1 or 2 men down. And I feel like teams need a whole off-season for that to change. So for them to bring that in 24 hours before a game, I think it was for the Magic Round, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I can see where Vlanders is coming from. But the announcement wasn't good.
Yeah.
The teams need a whole off-season.
Yeah.
Look what's happening now. Teams are running around, sin bins, send-offs. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And people aren't used to it. They're going crazy as well, you know?
Yeah, we're blowing up. Like, I know I was blowing up. I went to Magic Round and I was blowing up last week. I'm watching this game thinking, what has the game become?
Yeah.
Why has it, within 24 hours, this game become like this?
Yeah.
I made a point last week where I said that Vlanders, while he may have played welfare at the top of the regime, where he's went and sent people back home 100% fit and healthy, you can't guarantee that. I like what he's trying to do to push that. I like that he's trying to push it. The issue I have, I feel like there's something about hitting the NRL financially. I feel like he cares about that a bit more than he does care about the player welfare. It's very harsh to say, and I think I'm coming off a little condescending and I'm coming off a bit of across like a jerk. But you don't come in after 9 rounds and something switches in your mind to think, I think I need to change it up. I think now's the time I've got to bring it in. You know, I think for me, something must have happened behind the scenes for him to think, okay, I need to do something about this and do something about it now.
Yeah.
And I think what's made him switch over is the fact that someone's been in his ear. Who? I can't sit here and say. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But why did it take 10 weeks for him to come out and say, we have a problem with concussion? We've had a problem since 1908. In the last couple of years, maybe last 3 to 4, 5, even 5 years, yeah, it's been a very serious issue. No problem. I'm all for that. And I'm all for trying to prevent concussions and early, with players in their early 40s or 50s having dementia. I'm all for trying to eliminate that. Yeah. We never eliminate 100%, but I appreciate the effort in trying to eliminate it to send the players back home to their families, all well. The problem I have is, like you said, why 10 rounds in? No, very unprofessional, you're right. Yeah. Very, very unprofessional. Why it's happened 10 rounds in, and what caused him to come out now and say we need to change it up? That's my concern. Like you said, the players need a whole off-season for changes. Like, you know, towards the end of the league, towards the end of the year, where, like, say, for example, you've got, like, Bulldogs versus Broncos in round 25, and you want to test something. It's not going to affect the finals. Yeah. I'm happy for them to run their tests. Yeah. I'm happy for them to any high shot, send them off. Whatever, it doesn't affect
that.
Whatever.
What they did a couple of years ago with the 2 refs?
Yeah.
You know, they tested it out in games where it meant nothing. It couldn't affect anybody, winning or losing. To do what they're doing now, in the middle of the season, to the whole league is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't think Vlanders is understanding.
Yeah, I don't think he gets that. Yeah. I think he's got, while he has played well at the forefront of his mind, he just thinks that everyone can adapt to changes. He's already sped up the game.
He hasn't played for, like, how's he going to know? He's not a player himself, you know?
Yeah. And the thing is, he hasn't played footy, like you mentioned. It was a very good point. He hasn't played footy to understand, to know what's in it. He just reads the stats and he's a numbers guy and he reads all that. Oh, fair enough. You're the head of the commission. I get it. But you've got just so much confusion where you need a whole off-season to prepare these things.
100%.
You need time. You can't just say, all right, change the technique tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like, it's stupid. When Bennett came and said, look, the NRL will adjust to it. Yeah, we will. Yeah, the fans will come accustomed to it. And you're right. You make a very good point where we're seeing so many send-offs, so many sin bins, a lot more in the last 2 weeks than ever. I think at a point it'll cut down. I think it will come down at some point. Right now, we're just going through the rough patch of it, where players are getting sin bin left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
And mate, some of the shots they're getting sin bin for, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. They're rubbish.
Yeah.
Some of them are just slaps to the face and you got him sin bin for 10. Or you're putting him on report. You mentioned something earlier. The problem that is happening with the refereeing now, you mentioned it in the Eagles game.
Yeah.
Where you mentioned it, you said it before. Yeah, the set.
Yeah.
Tell us about your.
I was watching the Para game, and I seen RCG with his hit. He got suspended for it for 1 week.
Yeah.
And I seen the hit creep up and hit I forgot who the player was, his chin. And I go, shit, that's a sin binning under the new rules. They let it go, like no penalty or nothing. I'm like, sweet, I'm cheering. Anyways, they continued that set, kicked the ball, last tackle, went to Para. Para had maybe 3 or 4 tackles, and then the game gets stopped. And he goes back, and the ref's like, to RCG, mate, you're off for 10, you're on report. I'm like, hang on, like, is that from the last set? So the game played from Manly getting tackled, finishing off their set, going to Para nearly finishing their set, and the game got stopped, and the ball went back to Manly, and they got a penalty. What would have happened if Para scored in that set? Nothing would have happened. They wouldn't have. The trial would have stood. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's where the problem is happening at the moment. I agree with that 100%. You can't call something from a set or 2 sets before. By the way, mate, you're on report.
You're gonna keep going back.
Do you think? And the players aren't going to remember. Like you mentioned that as well. Like we had a chat before we got on. The players aren't going to remember. They're under fatigue. They're fatigued as it is. Number one, they're spread out the games. They're under even more fatigue. You know, I remember. I think it happened to the Roosters hooker. I'm starting to lose. Marshke. Yeah. That's right. Happened to Marshke, where they were on the line, and I think Roosters had the ball from like a set before, and then they dropped it, and then it was mainly set. Prior to the scrum being packed, the ref came and say, "Hey, Marshke, by the way, you're on report for something." And he goes, "I didn't care, whatever. I didn't care. Just play on. I didn't care. It doesn't bother me."
Yeah.
1, I don't remember. 2, I didn't care. Why are we stopping time? Why are we stopping the game for something stupid like this? Just play.
Yeah.
This kid's been playing 5 games. He's not even an experienced campaigner. He's not even been there for like 150 games. He's played 5 games. He doesn't care. He's wrapped. He's playing first grade. He doesn't care. Like, whatever, go. Just do it.
I feel like if the ref missed it, for example, the RCG, if he missed it, he missed it. You wait till the end of the game, and the judiciary should deal with it. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, the match review committee should overlook all games.
Which they did with Crackdown against Brisbane. They missed it, didn't they?
Yeah.
They didn't penalise it or nothing.
No.
Came to the end of the game. They watched the game again, and they put him on report after the game, which is fair enough. But you don't go back 1 set.
But you guys are carrying momentum.
Because imagine Paris scored. And imagine they took the try away, mate.
Yeah, carnage. They were blowing up left, right, and centre. Yeah.
You know, I couldn't believe it. I seen that with my own eyes, and I'm like, there's going to be a big problem with this.
And I think it's going to continue.
Back 1 set.
It's rubbish. They should have.
Crazy, man. I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
No, I don't blame you.
I was just laughing.
Yeah, because it's becoming, and I don't want to say it, but it's sort of like becoming a joke.
Yeah. I'm saying that was at a point where Para were going to lose anyways.
Yeah.
So it happened, and I'm like, imagine
it was a title contest.
Yeah, imagine the game was on the line. Man, I'll be losing it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Now let's go to news around the NRL world. A lot to get through for the last fortnight. I didn't cover much last week, having come back from Magic Round and really wasn't up to it.
Yeah.
A lot to get through. We'll go through some basics, but some I want to discuss with you. So Cowboys, a couple weeks ago, re-signed Ben Condon, Griffin Neem, and Riley Price for an extra 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Kind of keeping their depth in place. Bulldogs are linked to Jazz Tavaga. I don't want Jazz Tavaga. I like him as a player. He's not bad.
Not bad at hooker.
Not bad at hooker, but if we can get Brandon Smith, we can get Brandon Smith.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll
you get Brandon Smith, you're laughing.
Yeah. Now, prior to Magic Round, Jacob Arthur got promoted to the top 30 squad, so they could make his debut. Just there was some issues with COVID and being in the New South Wales Cup side.
Yeah.
Broncos signed Brett Gillian on a 2-year deal. We're waiting confirmation on that. We're just waiting for Broncos to come out with the press and release that.
Yeah.
One thing I haven't discussed yet, and this one makes me so happy. I want to talk about this with you.
Yeah.
Adam Reynolds signs a 3-year deal with the Broncos. Listen, when I found out, I felt like a Broncos supporter. I was so happy.
Yeah.
One, because Rabbitohs are idiots for not keeping him longer than 2 years. I'm appalled. I'm appalled by that decision, and I've made it very clear.
Embarrassing.
It's despicable. The fact that you don't keep someone like Reynolds, who, it's not like he's playing bad. He's holding that team together.
Playing bad, no chance. The guys that got the best kicking game in the comp.
Best kicking game in the comp. One of the best goal kickers in the comp.
Yeah.
What he provides and the experience he brings into the team is second to none. Not only that, but the Rabbitohs were burnt by Sam Burgess and Greg Inglis, signing him to long-term deals and to have him cut down by injury. Reynolds has been pretty good in terms of injury. He hasn't had many serious injuries.
He's been all right, yeah.
Has had a very good run recently. He came back from a broken hand. He was out for 2 weeks and he came back. He's been good since. The game he missed, they lost 50-0.
Yeah. That was against Storm.
Storm.
Yeah.
They lost 50-0. And you think, why would Reynolds, and he wasn't playing. He had a couple other missing too, but he was their main one that was missing.
They had Mitchell out.
They had Mitchell out.
Yeah.
They had Cam Murray out. I think got injured that game. But Adam Reynolds, he's that team. He is the heart of that club.
Yeah.
For them to offer 2 years, they ended up coming, okay, we'll offer you 2-year deal, but first year, then the second year in our favour.
Yeah.
Knowing he knew full well that if it's in their favour, he's gone.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm wrapped by this signing. I don't know about you. I'm wrapped that Broncos signed him. I'm so happy. Sharks are idiots as well for the way they handled it.
Yeah, Fitzgibbon wasn't happy.
No, I wasn't happy
Fitzgibbon wasn't
because they lowballed him with a terrible offer first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got rid of John Morris to bring in Craig Fitzgibbon, who can bring in high quality players, and they miss out on Reynolds. What does that say about the Sharks?
Poor.
Very poor. Just hit my nose. Very poor. I'm wrapped about this signing. I think Broncos have now gone from a bottom 4 side straight to a top 8 side just with Adam Reynolds. And look at their forward pack. It's not a bad forward pack, the Broncos.
They don't have a bad team. Look,
they don't have a terrible team.
I'm going to compare them to Bulldogs. Bulldogs, they've got a lot of players they've got to get rid of. Brisbane, you have a look at Brisbane. They got a lot of good players, especially in their forward pack. The only thing they're missing is the experience. And why is that? It's because they let go of all these experienced players.
Yeah.
Andrew McCulloch.
Josh Maguire. Sam Thaiday retired.
Matt Gillette retired.
That's right. A huge one. Yeah.
Heaps. And that's what they're missing, and they've signed someone that can, arguably the most important position, halfback,
Yeah, and I think that not only they signed him as the most important position, but they've signed an experienced campaigner.
Yeah.
After losing Didden to Cowboys, which I don't think is a loss.
Yeah, no.
I don't think he's a loss.
I think he's a myth, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't rate him that high.
I don't even think he'll play next year for Cowboys, to be honest with you. I reckon they'll go with Townsend and Drinkwater.
I think with the way Drinkwater's going.
Yeah, Drinkwater's killing it.
I'm hearing Todd Payton might chuck him in the centres next year. I've heard that rumour.
Yeah. He deserves to start, Drinkwater. I like him.
He's been playing really well for the Cows. He's been playing very, very good. With Reynolds coming in at 7, and Walters came out today and said, look, we want Katoni Staggs at 6 to start off at 6. Oh. I don't know how I feel. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. Look,
him in the centres, man.
He's dynamite in the centres.
Killer.
But Walters did say this. If Staggs doesn't perform in the halves, he will go straight back to the centres. He's got no problem with sending him back to the centres and putting in Tyson Gamble at 5'8".
That's where he's going wrong, I reckon.
Walters?
Yeah, mixing and matching, man. Like, leave Staggs in the centres and keep him there. You know he's going to kill it. There's no risk there.
I think he had to guarantee him a 5'8" position because Staggs kicked up his thing and said, I want to play 5'8". If I don't play 5'8", I'm leaving. And with Broncos losing the amount of talent that they've lost,
they can't afford to lose him.
They couldn't afford to lose him. They lost already Reece Walsh.
Oh.
They almost lost Pia Kua, who re-signed.
Yeah.
TC Rabadi, who's going to debut from this week, who just re-signed.
Yeah.
But they've lost a bit of talent as well. They lost Xavier Coates to Storm.
Yeah.
You know, they've lost a bit of talent.
Good player, man.
Yeah, good player.
He'll be replacement for Adakar.
He'll be unreal. He'll be unreal. But Reynolds signing takes him from the bottom 4 straight to the top 8.
Yeah.
No questions. With a forward pack like Payne Haas, TPJ,
they'll need another spine. Signing in the spine.
I think fullback.
I think Turpin's good. He's all right at hooker. They got that Corey Pakes, I think.
Yeah. He's been linked to the Bulldogs. Yeah.
They need, a fullback. They let go of Reece Walsh. Don't know why. Don't know how.
Never understand. They're looking at Nico Hines.
Yeah, I'd sign him. I've seen somewhere $1 million over 3 years. Bargain.
Nothing. 350k.
Bargain, man.
That's nothing.
You know what I mean?
My question about Nico Hines, though, is does he go to a side that's struggling and will he be able to put up the same performances?
Yeah.
I think with an experienced spine, he can.
Have a look at the team he's playing in now, man. Like, the whole Melbourne first grade team is pretty much out. The whole spine's out. He's killing it. He's leading the team. He doesn't have someone around him giving him, good ball. He's killing it himself.
I agree. If I was Nico Hines, I would go to, say, Brisbane.
Yeah.
Or potentially even Saints. And I would not be coached. I would leave Hines to play his own game.
Yeah.
Like what Nathan Brown did with Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
Nathan Brown doesn't get a lot of things right as a coach.
Yeah.
But what he's getting right is letting Reece Walsh come in and play his game.
Yeah.
He knows that if he tries to coach him, he will be garbage.
That's what I tried to do with Ponga. And putting him at 5A and all that.
Yeah, testing him and leave him at fullback. He's a gun fullback, leave him there. Don't muck him around. Leave him where he is.
Yeah.
Tigers have shown interest in Dane Gagai. Not long after confirming they've signed Oliver Gildat from...
Tigers?
Yeah.
That's the Tigers signing somebody that's...
A former Rabbitoh link with Madge.
It'll be alright. They just got to flick the switch on for the origin mode.
Yeah. I swear. He's got to keep him consistent 24/7. He's had a better year, Gagai.
He has.
He's had a better year, but they need to flick it up. Chris Sandow keen to return to the NRL. Who wants 150k to prove his worth?
I wouldn't go near him, man. I've had some bad...
Yeah, you guys, 4 years, 650k, 700k, something ridiculous. Back then it was ridiculous, though.
$1 million.
Yeah. Now, equivalent to now, it's huge. Moses Embol was linked to a switch to the Dragons last week, which got shut down, is no longer happening.
Yeah, I don't think Tigers are going to let go of him for this year.
No, I think it would have been a desperate move from the Dragons. I think it would have been a bad signing if he went.
I don't rate him.
Don't rate him either. I think he's best a bench utility, at best.
Yeah.
Dragons signed Gerard Bill to the end of the season. Because, weird, eh? When I saw that, I went, he retired 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I knew he was playing Cup, but retired from the NRL.
Coached him,
Yeah. He's bringing the Broncos boys back together.
I swear he is,
Yeah, he signed Francis Molo for next year as well, with Maguire.
That's good.
Molo's very good.
I reckon Molo's
That's
right, Dragons.
I wish we got Molo. I wish we got Molo.
Yeah, he's got linked to him, mate.
No, we weren't linked to him. We didn't even chat to him and he went signed with Dragons. Yeah. When I saw it, I was just, not happy.
Yeah.
Blake Austin linked to the Titans. Well, they need a 5'8". They're getting rid of Ash Taylor. Milford actually was going to head to the Titans. Milford asked for 600k. The Titans laughed at him and said, we'll give you no more than 4. Yeah. That's very wise.
Fair price.
That's very, very wise from the Titans. Price. Yeah, very wise. Would you prefer Blake Austin, 8 o'clock, or Anthony Milford?
How old's Austin?
How old? 30.
What about Milf? Milf's a bit younger.
26.
I'll take Milford, man. Honestly, I'll take Milford if it's for around 400k.
Yeah, I'll take him at 300.
I'll play him at 5'8".
Yeah, no problem. I would pay him. Bro, like you look at what you guys have done with Bryce Cartwright. He was on massive money on the Gold Coast with a lot of pressure, not performing.
That's the best signing we've made, and I said it from the start of the year to everyone. Man, there's so many Paris supporters were bagging out like Bryce Cartwright this, Bryce Cartwright that. Okay, hang on a second. We signed Bryce Cartwright on 150k
for 1 year.
2-year option, 1 year, first year, second year in our favour. What's the worst that's going to happen?
He's not 150k.
He's not 150k.
He's not eating his salary.
Come into the team. If he plays well, he kills it for us. We're laughing. If he doesn't play well, go sit in a reserve grade for a year. Then go.
And then go try good luck finding.
There's no risk, man. That's why I like him, Brad Arthur. That's one thing he does well. He signs players that are desperate and that want to play good football. Another example, Papali'i. Wow.
What a man, eh? He's been something else.
I was happy when... I remember they announced Papali'i, Tom Opicic, and Joey Lussick as signings. They announced them all together. Had a look. I go, you know what? I'm happy with Papali'i because I watched him at the Warriors and he's actually solid. He'll be good for us off the bench. I reckon he'll be all right. Man, he came and just killed it.
Yeah.
He's not normal. And he's still been playing normal, man. Like, I thought at the start, all right, he's having a couple of good games. You're waiting for him to have that bad game. He hasn't had one bad game yet.
He's been playing 80 minutes.
Yeah, killing it, man.
He's been playing that well that Sean Lane has been going off the bench, or even at some points Madison's coming off the bench as well.
Yeah, Sean Lane hasn't been playing well, man.
He has been playing well.
Yeah.
John Morris linked to the Rabbitohs coaching staff for 2022. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too bad. Warriors re-signed Taniela Otukolo. Is a kid coming through the ranks, 17, 18, 19-year-old, I think he is, for the 3 years. Yeah. I haven't seen much of him, to be honest. I can't sit in and give a rap. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that they're locking up younger talent, keeping the locals there. I think it's very good. Hooker.
Oh. Yeah, they hate a hooker, man.
Red Egan's, and he's all right. He's not the greatest, but he's okay. Adam Pompey re-signs with the Warriors for 2 years. And on the Warriors as well, they've announced that they remain in Australia to the end of the season.
Smart.
Yeah, very smart. I think I would love, and I agree with them, if they get a whole year of home games in New Zealand.
100%.
I'm all for that. I'm all for that, yeah.
And if any club says no, I think that's a shit go.
Yeah, I think it's pathetic.
Yeah. They should, man. It's been 2 years now. By the end of this year, it'll be 2 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, and they've committed and they've kept the league going.
People don't think, but it's not just them staying in here. It's them not being with their family.
All their families in New Zealand.
Family can't even travel, man, because of the COVID. Or now they can.
Now they can to an extent,
yeah.
but a lot of them aren't Australian citizens, so they can't. Yeah. Even to that point, they couldn't come as well and stay, and which is why a lot of the players last year went. Fusitu'a went. Mamalo went.
Yeah.
Now, Broncos had to come out and release a statement about Jermaine Asako and TPJ staying at the Bronx till 2022.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, they had to full release a statement because Madge went up to...
Exactly there, but...
So Madge went out to Brisbane, had a chat to Jermaine Asako in regards to preparing for the World Cup.
Oh, preparing for the World Cup.
So that's the story that's coming out of the Tigers. Now, we're going up to talk to him about the World Cup.
Yeah.
TPJ came out and denied that he had any conversation with the Tigers. He's saying, the Broncos have kept me here for 12 months when I should have been sacked. Why would I go talk to another club, knowing full well that they can terminate my contract at one, at any time, and two, I need to repay the loyalty to them for how good they've been to me when I've been a jerk.
Yeah.
That's what TPJ came out and said.
Good on him.
And I respect that so much. So he's not going anywhere. He wants to stay beyond 2022 with the Broncos.
Yeah.
You know, a club came in and offered him $900K a year. He turned it down, sacrificed $300K a year to stay with the Broncos.
Who's that? Cowboys?
No, I think it was a Sydney club. I think at the time would have been either Roosters or Rabbitohs.
Okay.
Offered him some ridiculous coin. I think Roosters.
That.
I think it was Roosters that offered him huge coin because he wanted to go. There was a period where he wanted to go to the Roosters. Him and Pilatus were chatting.
Is he a Queenslander?
He's blue.
Oh, he's a blue, yeah. What's his name in Queensland?
He was at Canberra. His career started off in Canberra. Then Brisbane picked him up. Bennett picked him up.
Okay.
And then it was game over. So they tried to bring him into. They tried to bring him to South. They tried to give him to Roosters, and then it didn't really eventuate.
Okay.
Yeah. So Broncos had to come out and release a statement about that. Cowboys signed Peter Hickey on a 2-year deal. This one, I like it.
Yeah,
took me by surprise, but I like it.
Yeah.
Coached by Payton. He's actually a very versatile player. I actually rate Peter Hickey pretty
well. Playing the halves, playing the centres, fullback, wing. I'll take him. I wonder how much they signed him for that.
I don't think it would have been much.
Yeah.
But it was definitely more than what Warriors would have offered. In terms of quota, probably around 400 mark. Or maybe I think a bit more than 400. I think he came to Warriors on 400 a year.
Okay.
So probably would have got him for 500. Maybe 450, 500. Which isn't too bad at all.
It's very good.
Yeah. Matt Duffy's been told he isn't required beyond this year. We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
I think it's very disappointing from the Dragons to not keep him on. I think he's been a very good player. Defensively, he needs a bit of work.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a poor signing from the Dragons. A poor decision made by the Dragons to not re-sign him.
Who do they have? They got no one. Oh.
They're after Nico Hines. They're another club that are after Nico Hines.
It's not guaranteed that they're going to sign him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's been their best player, man.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years, I reckon.
He's been phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal. He's been crazy good. We mentioned earlier, Dogs keen on Corey Pay and Kobe Hetherington, who just debuted for Broncos this week. Yeah. I'm all for trying to scout for young talent. Yeah. With the way Brisbane are going, they haven't really kept many of their young talent. So I'd be rating them.
Why not?
We almost got Brendan Piakura from the Broncos as well before he re-signed for 3 years. You know, we flew him here, took him to tour facilities.
Yeah.
Nothing happened from there. On the Dogs though, which I haven't mentioned here, I've been hearing Toby Rudolph may stay with the Sharks for 3 years.
Yeah.
That'd be a big signing for the Sharks to keep him.
Yeah.
But a bit of blow for the Dogs.
I think he'll stay, man.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay.
Remember when he signed with the Warriors and he backflipped?
He backflipped because I think he didn't want to go to New Zealand and then with the COVID turns. Look, unlucky, they stayed in Australia.
Yeah.
But look, the Warriors came out, signed Adam Fanua Blake, signed Ben Murdoch-Misella.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be too disappointed. They got Jack Welch has already been there, but they got Josh Curran as well, who's been playing phenomenal football prior to his injury.
Man.
Prior to his injury, he's playing really good. Yeah, been playing really good football.
He's a good base stats player, just does the hard yards.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can find the try line.
Against you guys, before he got injured, he scored as well. Came off the bench. Yeah, he made like 140 metres and then he...
Yeah, he's decent. Good defender as well.
Yeah, he's a very good player. Blake Green announced his retirement from the game. Congratulations to Blake Green on a pretty good career. I think he played maybe 12 games too long.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I reckon. Look, I reckon he would have been good at the Dogs. I think just for that experience. But when we said no, you can go to Newcastle. Off you go. Fair enough. Now a bit of a story currently breaking at the moment. George Williams was released by Canberra today with immediate effect. Club came out and basically the story that was told to me was George Williams has been requesting release for a little while. He apparently sent a text message to the welfare manager, apparently saying, I'm not playing this week. I'm pulling out of the game this week, and I'm not going to turn up to training.
Yeah.
Which the story that got brought to me was that Raiders were kind of forced to make a decision and say, "Oh mate, you can go." What's happened is that as we've been recording, what news has come in that George Williams actually came out and sent out a tweet. The tweet stated that it's not necessarily true. He hasn't signed the release papers to be released from the club. He's saying that when he tried to turn to them for advice and help, they've kicked him out. So now this is becoming public, and this is going to just make things worse for the Raiders, way worse than what it needs to be. So now there's actually dramas at the moment. So Bateman had dramas before he left because there was a snitch in the club. Now there's also another snitch in the club that's causing issues with George Williams, and now they've guaranteed him a release and he can go.
That snitch is Ricky Stewart, mate.
You reckon?
Even Paul Kent. I'm telling you.
This wouldn't surprise me.
Those English boys, they don't go out quiet.
No.
They go out swinging, man.
They always go out swinging. and you know what? They go out swinging, they find themselves another club, and they go have success there.
It's sad, but man, like, for Canberra to deal with these situations like that, it's not going to be good for them in the long term.
No, it's not.
You know, there was a time where they were doing well, signing with these English good players coming in, and now it looks bad on themselves.
Yeah, I know that Wigan have been interested in George Williams since Jackson Hastings signed with the Tigers. With the Tigers. Funny rumour that was going around the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you heard this.
Yeah. So
George Williams has been on the side of Wigan for a little while now. Wigan said to Canberra, let's propose a three-way trade. Here's what we'll do. You give us George Williams. We'll then release Jackson Hastings to the Tigers. And then Luke Brooks will go to Canberra. That was doing the rounds a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It got brought to me today, the last couple of weeks that this was happening. There was that potential three-way trade in the works. Didn't work out. So now George Williams has been released with immediate effect. Well, to the club, he's been released. To him, he hasn't.
Yeah.
Which is the drama. He'll go back to Wigan, I reckon, with immediate effect. I don't know if Hastings will come straight away at this stage.
Yeah.
I think if he does come, they'll put him straight as a ball-playing lock because they're going to keep Brooks there for the rest of the year at half.
Yeah.
And I don't think Brooks will ask for release to go to Canberra. Look, you've got players like Milford, like Brooks, even like what Cartwright and Papali'i did, just getting out different atmosphere out of the comfort zone.
Needs that, man.
I think he needs it. He's been at the club for way too long, cop the hammering.
He needs to see a bit of fun, his footy, do something.
I think Brooks would end up alright at Rabbitohs.
Yeah. At Rabbitohs?
I think he'd go alright at Rabbitohs.
We'll have good players around him, man. You know what? For Luke Brooks, you know, everyone always puts it on him. He's never had a good forward pack around him, man.
No.
Have a look at the team.
He's always had changes. There's always been changes in the spine.
If you can go to a team where they got a solid forward pack and a solid team overall,
solid spine,
will be alright.
But if you put him in a spine with Cook, Walker, and Latrell,
yeah, I think we'll go good, man.
I think it'd be very good.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be alright. I think that'd be pretty solid. That's all the news around the world of NRL at this present time. Now, coming up in the round 12, we've got Broncos coming up against Storm on Thursday night. TC Rabadi, who I mentioned earlier, has been named to make his debut off the bench. So Reece Kennedy will be moving into the starting side to take the spot of Matt Lodge, who's suspended. Milford has come back into the squad to replace Tyson Gamble, pushing Albert Kelly out for a week, pushing Albert Kelly to the halfback. Herbie Farnworth is back in the lineup and takes the spot of Dale Copley, who goes back to the reserves. For Storm, they get Jerome Hughes back after they withdraw to the calf injury. And Cooper Johns goes back to the extended bench. Who do you think takes this game?
Storm by plenty.
By plenty?
Yeah. They'll be back to the old days, Brisbane.
I think with Jerome Hughes back at the helm as well at the half. I can't see Storm losing. I think the way they're going.
No loss there, man. I think 13 plus safe bet.
Yeah, I think Storm by 14.
Yeah,
I think it's be comfortable.
I'm telling you, with what happened with all those rules, the sim bidding, it helped Brisbane out heaps against Roosters, and they done well, but no, not against Melbourne.
Do you think, because they always talk about, their wrestling tactics, they're always in the wrestle and they always get criticised for, because the players get suspended, like when Chris got done for that table on Madison. Do you reckon with these Simbins and Sandows that it could come back and eventually halt them with their wrestling techniques?
Nah.
You think that
Melbourne is too good.
Yeah.
Melbourne, too good. They'll work a way around it, man. They're too smart.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
They always find a way to go on top.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with you.
Respect for them, man.
I love them. I love the Storm. Everyone hates them. They're all jealous.
I hate them.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'll say it straight out. I hate them, man, but they're just so good. You can't say they're shit. They're so good.
Yeah.
Just from as a whole club. But I think with Melbourne, it's a bit easier for them compared to Sydney clubs, man. Like, you go play for Melbourne, man. There's not much pressure on you there. It's AFL orientated, you know. If you're a player, you go down to the shops. 9 people out of 10, they're not going to recognise you. Honestly.
Yeah.
If you're in Sydney, you're a youngster. You play for, say, Para, and you haven't even made your first grade debut yet. You go out, someone will recognise you. Because Sydney is just rugby league based.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That's why I think in Melbourne they got that advantage.
I think if they would you think in the near future a second team would kind of be good for them?
Melbourne?
Yeah. I don't think it would.
Nah.
I think it'd be pretty. I think it's a waste.
I think one team's just good enough there, man. You're better off going in Queensland.
Or even New Zealand.
Yeah.
Or Adelaide or Perth, or just trying to get teams in there and try to grow the game there.
Yeah. I think there should be more teams in Queensland. One more team at least in Queensland before they look at going somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to do. 2023, there'll be a new team.
So it's how many Sydney teams are there now?
So taking a look here, so you've got Tigers, Dragons, Panthers, Bulldogs, Rabbitohs, Eels, Roosters. That's 7.
Yeah.
Sharks 8. And then you got Knights with Newcastle.
Yeah. So you got around 10.
It's Eagles. Yeah. So you got 10. 10 of the 16.
I think Brisbane should have. I'm not saying it's going to happen now, but I think Brisbane need at least 2 more teams.
2 more.
2 more. Yeah. They got plenty of talent, man.
Yeah, the talent pool they got in Queensland is good.
They obviously should start off with 1 more team in Queensland and then expand it again in Queensland. I reckon, man. They've got the talent pool there.
Is there enough caliber of players though to make it like another team apart from the second team coming in Brisbane? Do you reckon there's another team? Because Vendors also go down the conference route, which I think is stupid. But do you think there's another team that they can look at for New Zealand or Perth? Or do you think they have enough talent in the game for them to spread as far as that? Personally, I think people are saying we don't know. I think we don't, but I also think we do. I think there's still a lot of talent in the cup and a lot of in the cup that can go up and dominate.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I disagree. I think there's a lot of players that are killing it in the cup, but once they get that first grade opportunity, no good. I reckon.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, not every player that goes from cup to first grade will be a star. I definitely agree with that.
There's some players that's just
their reality.
Yeah. And it's
not
a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's just not. That's how they are.
Yeah.
Cowboys coming up against the Warriors. Now, Colin Hess returns from injury from that head knock to take the spot of Tamalolo, who's suspended at lock. And Hamilton Tabuai-Fidow takes the place, finally back from that ankle injury, takes the spot of Connelly Lumelu, who's out for the next 6 weeks with a thumb injury. Yeah. Auckland Birds suspended as well, and Francis Molo copped the head knock. They're replaced by Peter Holler and Corey Jensen. Now, for the Warriors, I'm going to mention Reece Walsh, who's named to start jersey number 1 with with RTS moving to the wing. Bunty following second row, Burn Murdoch Masilla will drop back to the interchange, on the bench, taking the spot, swapping with Kane Evans and Jack Murchie. The changes there. Who do you got for this game?
I think it's a flip of a coin, to be honest with you, but Warriors should win.
Yeah.
With Tamalolo out, I think the Warriors, the forwards will dominate. But then again, it's the Warriors. You just don't know.
Yeah,
They nearly lost to the Tigers, so
yeah,
I'd put money on the Warriors.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd back the Warriors.
I'm going Cowboys by 8.
Yeah.
I think Cowboys can do. I think at home they're starting to play a lot better. They will miss that go forward. Yeah, honestly, you're right. It's a flip of a coin because Francis Molo is also missing.
Yeah, they've got. I'm telling you, the Warriors forwards.
No,
there's
something else. They're definitely something. And now they've got the back line.
Evans, yeah? I think Kane Evans is starting.
Yes, he's starting.
Yeah,
he's starting.
I think he'll have a good game.
I hope so.
Hasn't been getting the minutes I've been reading. He's been getting like 15 minutes.
Yeah, him, Bunty Afoa, Ben Misilla. Well, he got sin bid last week. So there's that as well. Tigers coming up against the Dragons. That's another Friday night.
Is that a 7:30 game?
Yeah, it sure is, mate.
I'm not going to watch it.
I don't blame you. James Roberts was back in the side on the wing, pushing Tommy Taylor to the centres, Jory Lilo out of the side.
What happened to Roberts?
He was injured in the shoulder.
Was it injury? Yeah.
Shoulder.
I thought he might have been dropped. That's how bad it's been going.
Yeah, woeful. And Tom Mamoni will take the spot of Jake Simpkin on the bench. For the Saints, Tariq Sims comes back to take the spot of Josh Kerr, who's been suspended.
Yep.
Paul Vaughan goes back to the starting side from the bench, and Pawasa Famawasili will go back to the bench. Daniel Alvaro will go to the bench as well. Brendan Williami will take the spot of Max Feaguy, and Gerard Bill, who we talked about earlier, gets a starting gig in the centres for the first time. First time he's played for the Dragons in about 7 years, and the first NRL game in a couple of years.
I'm not looking forward to this game.
I don't know who to pick. I want to say Tigers should win comfortably, but we know how the Tigers are.
Yeah.
And we know how the Dragons aren't even that much better. Well, they get Tariq Sims back. Gerard Bill's good for experience. Williami's good for not even that much experience.
I'll take Tigers.
I'll go Tigers by like 4.
Yeah.
Nothing big. I don't think it'll be a smashing.
I think it's good unders for that game.
Yeah, it'll be good unders, definitely.
Points,
for sure. All right. Looking forward to this one. Panthers are coming up against the Dogs. Liam Martin takes the spot of Kurt Capewell, who's been suspended. Moses Leota returns, pushing Spencer Lean into the bench. A few changes for the Dogs here, like always. Jack Hetherington comes back at prop, takes the spot of Arvasi Manifanai, who goes to the bench.
A big on for 10.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to him, mate. Let me tell you. Josh Jackson comes back at lock, pushing Anna Elliott to second row. Takes the spot of Chris Smith, who's suspended. Jackson Topine replaces Sione Katoa, who's again suspended. And Corey Waddell went off for Tony dropped. Thank goodness. Replaced by Joe Simpson and Dean Britt. Corey Waddell, I'm not a big fan of him. Don't like him whatsoever. He provides nothing to our side. I think he's been probably our worst signing.
Yeah.
Glad that he's dropped. Went off for Tony. Hasn't been the best. Especially with ball handling, hasn't been the greatest. So I think it's good that he's gone too. Honestly, every week I come on here, I back the Dogs every week.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a cricket score, bro. Panthers can't go put on 56 on the Rabbitohs without you expecting them to put at least 60, 70 on the Dogs.
And the thing is, Penrith are just that confident.
Yeah, nothing can stop them.
Yeah. It's like a steam train.
Yeah. Kurt Capewell was suspended, right? Liam Martin comes in.
Killed it.
He's a machine. Yeah. He's a smoky for Origin.
Yeah, talking about it for Origin.
Yeah, look, I'll always back the Dogs. I can't go against them.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying they're going to win, but I'm confident. I'll always back the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
But we've got to be realistic. Expect the cricket score.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Rabbitohs come up against your Para Eels. Cameron Murray, Jacob Host have both been named. Liam Knight and Jaden Sewell dropped from the side. Josh Mansour is being replaced by Tane Milne. Joe Arrow has been promoted to the starting side at prop, with Thomas Burgess going to the bench. Interesting. Mm-hmm. And Hami Saleh joins the bench. He had a good game in Cup, Hami Saleh.
Yeah.
And Jed Cartwright, who goes onto the extended bench as well. For the Eels, Oregon Confusi will take the spot of RCG at the front, and Murad and Corey comes onto the bench. So Wonga Blake is still named in the centres.
I'm hoping that changes come game
Yeah,
day.
like you're talking about Penasini.
Look, I don't think Brad Arthur will throw him into the deep end.
No, I don't think so.
That's not how he is. But there's a chance Neo Corey can come into the centres.
Hope so.
For Blake. I'm hoping so, anyways.
Do you think you'll win this one?
No. I think we'll lose.
Yeah. I spoke to another couple of Para fans today. They'll tell me that.
I think we'll lose, man. I think it'll be close, but it's Indigenous round this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Rabbitohs as well.
They'll be fired up.
They'll be fired up.
Yeah. Especially coming up another 50-point shellacking as well.
I think it'll be a close game. Good game. It'll be a good game.
Yeah.
But I think Rabbitohs will come out with the 2 points.
Yeah, interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I
hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. For your sake, I hope you're wrong. You're a Para fan. I'll look at Rabbitohs by 6, I reckon. Rabbitohs by 6, that one. Roosters come up against the Raiders. A bit of breaking news. Victor Radley has copped 5 weeks. Although he fought at the judiciary tonight and copped 5 weeks.
Wow.
Another bit of news that's just coming in right now. Now, from what I've been told, it looks like, from what I can see, Angus Crichton is also out. He's been made guilty for his charge. He'll be missing 2 games. That's just breaking news coming in now. Angus Crichton suspended for 2 games after failing to be able to downgrade his charge.
I don't know why they fought it.
I think because of his carryover. I think because from the suspensions from previous years. The carryover. They tried to downgrade his carryover. So Isaac Levy moves from prop to lock to replace Victor Radley, who's suspended. Siwa Takiyahu is promoted to the starting side at prop, with Daniel Suluka Fafita joining the bench, and Josh Morris comes back into the side for Joseph Sawali, dropping to the reserves. For the Raiders, 5'8", Jack Wyden comes back at 5'8" from suspension, pushing Sam Williams to the halfback, and George Williams, as we discussed, has been released, from what the club is saying. Jordan Rapana takes the spot of Semi Valeme, who's returning as well, and Josh Hodgson's back on the bench. C.S. Oliola has been named on the bench as well, with Hudson Young dropping to the reserves. I see Roosters come bouncing back. I know they're losing Radley and they're losing Crichton. I just think with the way Raiders are going, I don't think there's a solution anytime soon. So I think Roosters by about 12.
Yeah, Roosters will win.
I think Tedesco will come out and just
Is it a Roosters home game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I say Raiders might have had a chance if they were at home, but no, Roosters.
Yeah, definitely Roosters. Sharks versus the Titans on the Sunday 2 o'clock match. A lot of changes here. Ronaldo Militado comes back to the side, replacing Moreno Huwadi, who's suspended. CST Fatagakai replaces Teague Wilton, who's suspended, and Jesse Ramey replaces Josh Dugan, who's suspended. So many suspensions, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy.
Sean Johnson is named at 5'8", pushing Matt Moylan into number 7, and Chad Townsend dropped.
Was Johnson good to play last week?
No, he got scratched out.
From injury?
Yeah.
I thought they dropped him. Like, I'm thinking, why wouldn't they play Johnson?
No, he pulled up some hamstring tightness. He'll play his 200th game this week.
Yeah, that's right.
And Andrew Fafita takes the spot with Billy Magoulias on the bench for the Sharks. For the Titans, Dave Fafita comes back from suspension, which is a big in, pushing Bo Firma to the bench and Sam Stone out of the side. And Patrick Herbert comes back from a calf injury in the centres, so Esa Masters drops out of the side. Oh, by the way, Esa Masters signed with Titans for 2.5 years. Forgot to mention earlier. Yeah. Now, they get Militado, Talakai, Jesse Ramian, Sean Johnson back. That's big 4 players. And they get Fafita. To be fair, Fafita comes back from the cup into the bench.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this would be a tough game.
I was confident with Titans, but now with all those players coming back in, it's going to be closer than expected.
Yeah.
But I still see Titans winning.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think Titans will win.
I'm very intrigued to see how Johnson and Moylan will go together. I think that's the most intriguing.
I think they're 2 similar players.
Yeah, that's why. That's why it's going to be very interesting. I think they're both halves. I've kind of got the same thing at the Dogs right now. But Sean Johnson can control if need be.
I think Townsend wouldn't have been dropped if he was playing with Sharks next year.
That too.
So
I think Fitzgibbon is calling shots from the outside, personally. Because I know that he wants to work with Johnson and Moylan. I think he wants to see them both at work.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Sharks. I just think with the talent they've got, Militado's back is a big in. Talakai's back is a big in.
I really
just
like Talakai.
I love Talakai. Yeah. We almost signed him before he re-signed with the Sharks.
Yeah.
We almost got him spewing. If we got him,
would have been kidding it.
Would have been great. Knights versus Eagles, the last game of round 12. Callum Ponga and Stanley Bradman best are back. Kurtman moves from fullback to 5'8". Costa goes to halfback, and Blake Green out of the side due to his immediate retirement. And Simi Sasagi will make way as one of the backs they filled in last week in debut. For the Seagulls, Curtis Sirenen returns on the bench, replacing Humoli Olakawatu, who has suffered another serious injury. Could be out for a little while. I'm going to Eagles, man. I'm not confident in the Knights.
I'm going to go the upset.
Yeah? I've said it around.
Ponga back, Bradman best back.
Kurtman at 5'8".
Yeah, Kurtman back to 5'8". I think they can win. It's at home, isn't it?
It's at home.
Yeah, I think Knights can win. They're under a lot of pressure, man. Mainly are flying high. They can afford to lose. I think Newcastle can win this one. It'll be close.
Yeah,
it'll be a high-scoring game, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be high-scoring. I think with Ponga back especially.
But scary with Tommy T, man.
Yeah.
Imagine him again. You see what Holmes did to Newcastle? Imagine Tommy T.
No, and with the way that Knights have been defending recently,
yeah,
I think Tommy Turbo will run circles around them. I think we'll see a lot of line breaks. I'm expecting that game.
Yeah.
For that one. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me on another episode of League Chat with the Stats. Thanks for joining me, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. So, as you guys know, you've seen us wearing a bit of our merch that we're going to be dropping to you guys very soon. So when we drop that, you'll be able to see what you can get it for, and just to be able to get a bit of history, I like to call it. Slice of history. It's starting off on the podcast here. Just so you know, as I said, we're all over our social medias. Please like, share, subscribe to our page, and keep the conversation going about League Chat with the Stat. Anything you guys want us to discuss, we'll be able to discuss. Get keen, by the way. Origin team is being named on Sunday.
Beautiful.
So that's going to be exciting to uncover for this week. But look, as I said, mate, thanks for joining. Make sure to
Thank
keep the page sharing, like, and subscribing. Have a good week, guys. Enjoy round 12. We'll speak to you soon. Take it easy.
Thank you.